to call this a big game this early in the season, but this certainly has all the earmarks of a big game. It's going to be the largest crowd ever to see a game in Texas Stadium, and many people feel that these two teams, one of these two, will be the team that represents the NFC come Super Bowl time. John, what are your thoughts about this contest?
Well, I think it's going to be a great game. I was just watching the guys warm up, and they don't warm up today like they used to. Remember how they used to come out and you hit your own guy first, then hit others? These guys come out and they start hitting each other and congratulating them before they play the game. But I'll tell you, we've seen some of the great players. We see a Michael Irvin there. We see a Jerry Rice here. We have some great offenses in this game, and I think it's going to be a real explosive offensive game.
I think so, too. You don't use the word, you shouldn't use the word hate, but intense dislike. Maybe that'll work. Let's go back to New York.
All right, Pat and John, thanks very much. That's for most of you. Now, some of you will be seeing the Washington Redskins and the Phoenix Cardinals, a couple of 1-4 teams and a couple of teams with head coaches, both of whom need a victory today. Let's take you to Sun Devil Stadium, where Jim Nantz, Randy
Say East. Let's go back to you, Greg.
All right, Jim, Randy, thanks very much. That's coming up next here on CBS. Now, to recap what has happened so far today in the National Football League, the Giants, 21-10 winners over the Philadelphia Eagles. Another big day for the Giants running the football, a big day for Lewis Tillman. Now, in Pittsburgh, take a look at what the Steelers are doing to the New Orleans Saints. Just over 4 minutes to play in that Sick'em defense. Yeah, the Steeler defense did just that. Watch what happens to Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson has 2 interceptions. This is a deflected ball picked off by Rod Woodson, who returns it 63 yards for a touchdown. 1 of 2 interceptions on the day by Wilson. 5 turnovers by the Saints, Greg.
Yeah, Woodson picked off 2. Here's his second, a diving interception of a Wade Wilson pass. Woodson with 7 interceptions, already a career high for him this season. He still has most of the season to go. Wilson sacked 4 times, intercepted 3 times today. Neil O'Donnell, meanwhile, just picking the defense apart.
That's a screen pass. Teams like the New Orleans Saints that like to be aggressive with their linebackers. A lot of times screens are designed to slow them down, not necessarily used to score touchdowns.
Wade Wilson sacked here by Levon Kirkland and loses the football. Kevin Green picks it up for the Steelers, and that sets them up. You know things are going right when a play like this happens. Mike Tomczak throwing.
Yeah, this is good stuff. You get in there, you throw a ball, you sit on the bench all day. There's Eric Green sitting behind the safety, deflected pass, picks it off. And when it's going bad, it's going bad.
And a short time ago, the Saints avoided the shutout with a touchdown pass right there. It would have been the first shutout in more than 160 games for the New Orleans Saints, but you'd have to think an overall bad day for the Saints.
We said early on the pre-game show that in games like this with teams with great defenses, normally it's turnovers that are the deciding factor. And today, the Saints, who have yet to prove that they can really come from behind in the second half. The only time they've had to do it this year was the first game of the season, and then they were only down 4 points, not 24 points like today.
Yeah, Eric, people have been thinking that with the Saints' quick start that New Orleans is one of the elite teams in the league this year. Do you believe that?
They are a good football team. They're not a great football team. They can't stop the run. They have to stop the run to win this league.
Can they win? Can they go any distance at all this year with Wade Wilson as their quarterback?
I think they're going to the playoffs. They have a good enough team to go into the playoffs, but I don't think that they can go to the Super Bowl. No way.
All right. Meanwhile, in the Silverdome in Pontiac, the Detroit Lions against the Seattle Seahawks, and the Lions leading this one by a score of 30-10. Herman Moore has caught a couple of touchdown passes from Rodney Peete. In Cincinnati, the Browns leading the Bengals 28-17. Vinny Testaverde started this game for the Browns. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes so far. Clay Matthews, 3 sacks on the Browns defense. They lead the Bengals 28-17 as they look to make the Bengals 0-6 to start this season. The Houston Oilers in New England leading the Patriots 28-14. Warren Moon came on in relief of an injured Cody Carlson in this game and threw a couple of touchdown passes. Webster Slaughter has caught 2 for Houston. It's 28-14. We'll take a timeout here and then continue here on the NFL Today in just a moment.
Here we have the sing
Lord. The magnificent skyline of downtown Big D, Dallas, Texas, and nearby in Irving, Texas Stadium. And this will hold the largest crowd ever to see a football game in this locale today for the 49ers against the Cowboys. I'm Pat Summerall, and neither one of these two teams has forgotten what happened in the championship game in the NFC last year at Candlestick Park. Dallas, of course, won. Can they do it again? That's a big, big question in the minds of both. With me, of course, John Madden. And John, The 49ers criticized a little bit lately as not being the same team that they were then. What do you think?
Well, it's probably true. They're probably not in sync like they were a year ago, but one of these days they're
last year. This is the next dynasty in pro football. What do you think?
I'll tell you, offensively to me, they look great right now. I think Troy Aikman is the best football and is the best quarterback in all of football, and he just is great. He's going as hot as you can. And then, of course, they get Emmitt Smith back, and now he's healthy. And for the first time, when you get the passing and the running going, I don't know that anyone is going to stop this Cowboy offense.
Well, it's a perfect day for football. The Cowboys have won the toss. They're always, of course, this time of day here at Texas Stadium. If it's a bright day, is the problem with the sun in the receivers, in this case, the Cowboys' eyes, as they try to get a forward pass or accept a kickoff. Mike Cofer about to kick it off for San Francisco. That sun will not be a problem. An overcast day. Back deep, Kevin Williams and Kenneth Gant for Dallas. Cofer set to kick it off. Well, maybe. The official standing down between the two return men is still holding things up. The crowd ready. Now they've got the signal. Well, no, they haven't yet. Now I think we're just about ready to start what to both of these, certainly, and to many who follow pro football, is the biggest game of the year. That's what they were waiting for. The speakers to go up, and Cofer might have hit him. Gant will return it from the 2. Gant to the 35. Stopped by the kicker, Cofer. Aikman leads the offense, and as John Madden said a minute ago, he is as hot as anyone has ever been. In front of him, a fine, big offensive line. And those who'll handle the ball, Emmitt Smith, of course, Darrell Johnston blocks for him, Michael Irvin, and Alvin Harper, the wide receivers, and Jay Novacek, the tight end. Flag on the play.
Holding by the receiving team, number 95, during the return. 10-yard penalty. Be first down.
Referee is Ed Hockley. Chad Hennings was called for holding on the opening kickoff. So the Cowboys' first possession will take place back at their own 10-yard line. Make it the 11, just outside the 10. Aikman. The numbers are phenomenal. He's going to throw on first down. He's going to hand it complete to Harper on first down. About 8. The 49er defensive unit. This is the part of that team that has seen some major changes. Fagan is back, Stubblefield in the middle. The 4 linebackers, Johnson and Kelly outside, Romanowski and DeLong back. Griffin, Hanks, McDonald, and Davis, the secondary. It will be 2nd and 2 as Aikman brings them out. Smith and Darrell Johnston. That's Novacek on the move. The Moose for a Dallas first down. Darrell Johnston's tripped up by Stubblefield.
Yeah, the 49ers have always been a 3-man line, Pat. They're starting here with a 4-man line. You see they're putting Ted Washington and Stubblefield both inside, and then Fagan here and Dennis Brown out here. So that's a new thing. I think that they're so concerned about stopping the run, they didn't think they could do it with their 3-man line. So on running down, they're probably going to use some 4-man line today.
Now it's Jim Price, the backup tight end, the man in motion. This is Emmitt Smith. Smith for another Dallas first down, and Aikman is 2 for 2.
Yeah, and that's a problem that you have with the Dallas Cowboys and with Aikman and Smith and all the receivers and a good offensive line. You can't gang up on anything. You can't gang up on the run because he'll pass and beat you. You can't gang up on the pass because Emmitt Smith can beat you. And then you can't gang up on any one guy because Aikman will always find the open guy and go to him.
And that's what he has been so masterful at doing. not just this year, down the stretch last year. Smith to the left. Emmett Smith bounces close to another Cowboy first down, tripped up by Merton Hanks.
The ball almost bounced out of there at the end, but the Cowboys don't seem to have any trouble running against this four-man line. Again, the 49ers got Kevin Fagan back this week. He's playing that right end. That's right where they went. They went right at Kevin Fagan. And, of course, they got Stubblefield and Ted Washington in there as tackles, trying to get bigger guys in there to plug up that middle where Emmitt Smith usually runs.
Second and short. And again, it's Price in motion. And Emmitt Smith brings it to the outside. Ball's knocked loose. You saw the tackle. Picked up by the fight up. 49ers, Eric Davis. Davis in for a 49er touchdown.
That's what they said. They said the thing that beat them in the championship game was the turnovers. That the 49ers gave 4 turnovers. The Cowboys didn't. The 49ers felt they had to get the turnovers today and not give up the turnover. On the first drive, they come up with a big one.
This is the kind of tackle we're seeing more and more of. Breaking that ball loose with the other hand, just like that.
Well, what you do is you go in with one hand. That was John Johnson, number 55, and you grab him with one hand like you're going to tackle him, and then you always put that chop in there, the first guy there, and try and knock the ball out of there.
Kofor for the extra point. The 49ers break it on top, and they lead 7-0. 47-yard touchdown run on the fumble recovery.
Boy, did that quiet this crowd down.
They may be big, but they're silent at the moment. Here is Steve Young's offensive package. He, of course, the quarterback. You forget he used to be with Tampa Bay. Wallace, McIntyre, Sapolo, Ralph Tam, and Harris Barton, his offensive line. The 2 wide receivers, Rice and Taylor. Brent Jones, the tight end. Logan and Waters are the 2 running backs. But it'll be a while before they get the ball and operate behind that unit.
Well, that's a way to do it. You know, first of all, we talk about the script. Watch John Johnson knock the ball out there, and then a perfect bounce. Eric Davis was coming up, and the ball just bounced up there right about knee high, and he caught it in stride. Watch it. There's the script. Now watch it bounce. The ball comes out of there, and then straight up in the air, and he catches it on that second hop right there at the knees.
Now, how many times might you expect to see an object shaped like that bounce straight up like that twice?
Only on artificial turf.
Right.
If this were played on grass, that ball would have bounced sideways and maybe even gotten out of bounds.
There are no undefeated teams now. Pittsburgh knocked off New Orleans convincingly. Kofor's kick. Williams watches it roll out of bounds, and then Cowboys will take over at their 35.
Out of bounds. Cowboys are put in play.
George Seifert.
You know, George Seifert tried to keep that defense secret all week, you know, and it was whether Todd Kelly was going to be the linebacker, the elephant, or was going to be Martin Harrison, and that had kind of become the thing. But really what he was doing is working on a 4-man defensive line. You see it right there. Dennis Brown here, Stubblefield there, and Washington, and then Kevin Fagan over there. So this is a new defensive look for the 49ers.
Other than the fumble, the Cowboys handled it very well. Aikman. Again, complete to Johnston. Cut down by Davis.
When you hear that sound, that's the Moose. Last week, they started out the game against the Indianapolis Colts, and they gave the ball about 4 or 5 times to Daryl Johnston, who doesn't get it a lot. One of the reporters after the game asked Aikman, were you featuring the Moose? And Aikman said, let me tell you this, the Dallas Cowboys will never feature the Moose.
Very few times. What he does so well is block for Emmitt Smith. And obviously good pass receiver. Here's Emmitt.
Emmitt Smith across the 40 near the 42.
We will welcome those of you who watched New Orleans and Pittsburgh. The final score was the Steelers 37, New Orleans 14 here in Dallas. The score is 7-0. The 49ers lead it. A 47-yard fumble recovery by Eric Davis.
I don't know if quarterbacks, we just saw a shot of Steve Young there. I don't know if quarterbacks like this. They like to lead, they like to be ahead, but I don't know that they like to come out there and stand this long on the sideline and not get in the game yet.
I know I wouldn't like it. Here's Aikman. Gets it loose to Harper. Harper close to midfield. I beg your pardon, this is Irvin. Michael Irvin. 80 is Harper. 88 is Irvin.
Yeah, Michael Irvin does this so well. You know, not only get open, but he's so big and strong that once he catches the ball, he doesn't have to be wide open, and then he'll make a move, and he's tough to tackle. You know, because he's big, strong, quick, and he just doesn't go down easily. And the first guy there does not usually get Michael Irvin.
That's that pattern we've seen so often in recent weeks where the bunch of receivers come off the ball together. Two go deep, one goes wide, as he did then. Johnston again in motion. Outside to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt spun forward, run out of bounds by John Johnston.
You know, one thing that this four-man line of the 49ers is doing to the Cowboy offense, it's making them attack the perimeters more. With Emmitt Smith, they've usually been like an inside running team and a cutback team. Now, so far, they've been attacking the perimeter, you know, getting the ball outside on the swing passes. And when Emmitt Smith has been running, he's been running to the outside.
Well, if they can make him do that, part of the plan at least has succeeded. They'd like more pressure on Aikman. Emmitt Smith left. To about the 42.
Emmitt Smith said that running's kind of a simple thing. He said you just look where they got all their guys and you run the other way. And then as you're running, you look, and if they're all flowing one way, you cut back. If they're all blocked, you just keep going that way. He said most of the time he'll look right at the center and nose tackle and read that initially, and that will determine which way he's going to cut.
If the center gets him going one way, he said, I'm going the other way. Third down, about 3. Aikman to throw it. 49ers blitz it. Pass is caught by Irvin. First down. Michael Magruder made the stop.
Yeah, we talk about Aikman being hot. I mean, he just looks. Remember a few years ago how Joe Montana looked, where he'd look perfect and you'd wonder what can you do to stop him, and Aikman has that look about him now that no matter what they do on deep, that was against the nickel there, long yardage, short yardage, he has an answer for you.
Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator. Well, let's listen to the referee first.
Illegal formation by the offense. Number 79 was lined up in an eligible position. He had an ineligible number. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Well, 79, of course, is Eric Williams, the big right tackle. And what they must be saying is that he's too far back, that he's in the backfield. And that would be too many men in the backfield. I think that's picky. He looks to me like he was okay. I mean, on third down, they don't get in a stance, and they all get awful little. That looked like a picky ball.
Looked as if the other tackle, Tuinei, was further back than he was.
And he is on this play, too.
Aikman chased. Pass is caught just at the last second by Kevin Williams, and he's knocked out of bounds, short of a first down.
Pass complete to Kevin Williams.
I'll tell you, the one thing, they got some pressure here. Watch number 53, Bill Romanowski. You see, they don't get him blocked on the blitz. Now, on that one, that was third and long. Aikman didn't want to take that sack or that hit, so he really just threw that one away.
So John Jett, the new Dallas punter, comes on. Dexter Carter back deep for San Francisco.
Dexter Carter had a big one last week. He must be going for a block. Dexter Carter's running up. They don't have anyone back there.
They got to be.
There's no one back.
Jett got it out of there, and he's down in a flag as they ran into the punter. meantime, the ball is down at about the 1-yard line by Elvis Patterson. But this is going to be brought back, and the 49ers are going to be caught for roughing the kicker or running into the kicker.
But again, this is a big penalty because it doesn't give them a first down. See, because they still have to get the first down, and they were like fourth and what? Fourth and eight there. It's a 5-yard penalty. It won't be a first down.
Roughing the kicker by the defense.
Now it is a
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
If it's roughing.
It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be a first down.
That would qualify as being rough.
I know it. That was. When you run into the guy and you don't mean it, they just gave you 5, and at 4th and 8, it wouldn't have been a first down, but that was Martin Harrison, and that, I think, is a 15-yard penalty. So it's not, again, automatic first down, but the 15-yard penalty gives the Cowboys a first down.
They're at the 49er 32 now.
The 49ers were just trying to be aggressive on that play, and they were too aggressive. Dexter Carter came up. They had all 11 men up in the front, no return man back, and they were going for the block or nothing.
Emmett Smith is the deep back, and Novacek is in motion, and Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin. That's the first incompletion.
Pass intended for Irvin near the 19-yard line.
Don Griffin was the cover man.
Defending over play number 29, Don Griffin.
This isn't how Jimmy Johnson saw this game getting started. You know, it's a little sloppy, and Jimmy Johnson is one of the neatest guys in the world, and he thinks, and he likes everything to be neat and perfect. And when the other team picks up one of your fumbles and scores, and then, you know, you have a penalty when you get a first down, you have another penalty. This isn't the kind of game he likes, even though that last penalty benefited him.
2nd and 10. Aikman hammered out of bounds by Eric Davis. Incomplete.
Michael Irvin just didn't bend over enough, it looked like, on that play, Pat. He's running an out, and you're going to see him out here. Now he's going to come out and then turn right here, and it looked like the ball is just about knee-high, and see, he should come back right there. And I don't know if he took his eyes off it or didn't put his eyes down there or what, but Michael Irvin, you know, usually catches those kinds. Like he thought he had it. It went right between his hands.
He thought he had it. You're right.
It went right between his legs. Double dip.
3rd and 10. Draw play to Smith. Dragged down finally at about the 30 by Romanowski and Terry Hogue.
A gain of 2 to the 30-yard line.
So look at Eddie Murray. He comes onto the field
There's
now.
a couple of big plays there by the 49ers. Good coverage, and then on 3rd and 10, surprised the Cowboys weren't a little more aggressive, and you know, because Aikman is so hot and has so many tools, you wonder why they don't go for a first down and attack the end zone themselves.
Eddie Murray from 48 yards. Novacek holding. That'll get there, and that's good. Eddie Murray puts the Cowboys on the scoreboard, but the 49ers lead 7-3, 6.5 left first quarter.
Within a
7-3, the 49ers over the Cowboys, 6.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. And the sun not out brightly as yet, but it's broken through some of the clouds. Biggest crowd ever to see a football game at Texas Stadium. Murray's kickoff to about the 2. Cowboys were down in a hurry, but Dexter Carter gets back to the 20, where Steve Young and the 49ers will take over on offense for the first time.
random.
MCI, the company that brings you proof positive. And by Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
Texas Stadium packed for the rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Of course, that was played outdoors at Candlestick after it had rained all week long. this on artificial turf. Here's Steve Young. Outside quickly to Brent Jones. Here is the Cowboy defense now. Haley and Tolbert start on the outside. They shuffle a lot of people in and out. Maryland and Casillas in the middle. Ken Norton has moved inside, the middle linebacker. Dixon Edwards and Darren Smith, the rookie, outside. The secondary, Brown, Everett, Woodson, and Kevin Smith. 2nd and 5. 49ers at the 25. They're on. Young to Rice. Rice to the 40. 49er first down.
Steve Young, he's the number 80. Jerry Rice to the 40-yard line.
This is an interesting formation, Pat. You see, Ricky Waters is in the slot here, the halfback, and here is Rice here, so they can run a combination pattern and still have Taylor over on the other side. See, Waters comes out, Rice comes in, and the minute that he passes that first guy, the ball is thrown perfectly.
And Rice has now caught a pass in 117 straight games. Young gives to Waters. Waters wrapped up by Tolbert.
You know, Jerry Rice was talking about his timing, or really hasn't been in sync with Steve Young like it was in with Joe Montana. But I think when he's on the left side is when it is in sync. I mean, that play, that slant, that pole or whatever, that was an in-sync play, but Jerry Rice was lined up on the left side. I think where they have their sync problem is when Rice lines up on the right side, and that's where he used to always line up when he was playing with Joe Montana.
He is split wide left this time. Logan was the man in motion. Pass incomplete. Intended for Waters. Bounced up in the air. It looked as if several people had a shot at it. That's the way a lot of those interceptions to Steve Young this year have come.
Yeah, and I would think if you're going to force the ball, and Steve Young forced that one, I think if you're going to force the ball, you don't want to force it to Mark Logan. And if you're going to force the ball, force it to a Jerry Rice or force it to a John Taylor, someone that could really do something, but don't force a 2-yard pass to Mark Logan.
3rd and 8. Young to Jones, complete. First down and more for the 49ers into Dallas territory to the 35. Woodson knocked him out of bounds.
They used to go 4 wide receivers, and now they leave Brent Jones in with 3 wide receivers. You see Brent Jones at tight end. He's just going to come up and run it out. He gave a little head fake. Then he went to the outside. That was Darren Woodson, the strong safety covering him. Darren Woodson went for that head fake.
That head fake just frozen long enough.
You don't see guys going, or you don't see too many guys using the old head fake much anymore. You don't see many defensive guys going for it.
That's Logan. Over the left side, stopped by Norton.
Yeah, it's interesting, the 49ers, again, this is the first time they've had the ball, but they've been using Ricky Waters more as a decoy and using Mark Logan in the backfield. Waters has been out as a slot back and a flanker most of the time.
And that's where he goes again. Except not in the slot. Now he is. Now he and Rice swap places.
And he wants to prove that he's as good a running back or better than Emmitt Smith. It's going to be tough in the slot back.
Young quickly outside Taylor. Larry Brown knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, you talk about a Troy Aikman and you're getting hot. This is the same thing that a Steve Young could do. Yeah, I mean, he could. You see the formation on the right side? Again, that's a decoy. You see Waters is over there, Rice is over there, but this is the side he goes to. You put them over there, and then you get John Taylor isolated on Brown here, and you just give him the ball to the left side one-on-one.
Rice is left this time, and that's Waters in motion. No backs. And here's Young. He's a back. Young for another first down. inside the Cowboy 15 to about the 12.
That had to be an organized play because there was no back in the backfield. Waters starts out, and now he goes in motion. So look what happens. Once he goes in motion, you're going to see that there's no one for the quarterback. So he sees this right here. He's looking for the first hole he can find. He gets a double team from McIntyre, and the hole is between his guard and tackle. But the tough thing is when there's no back in the backfield, the only guy that can carry the ball is the quarterback. So even though there's no one on the quarterback, they do key on him a little more.
But when you're a ball carrier, an athlete like Steve Young, that's like having another back almost.
Yeah, you see, if you look from the end zone here, you'll see Ricky Waters right there, and he just takes off. Now, there's no one in the backfield, so if you're going to run it, it has to be Steve Young. Then when he sees that hole, he's going to take it. Charles Haley just missed it.
And they double-team Russell Maryland. McIntyre, good job.
And then Young had to get away from Haley.
Ball's at the 13. Straight ahead, Logan. Just outside the 10. Stopped by Ken Norton again.
You know, this is the area that Steve Young felt that they lost the championship game to the Cowboys in. They got down in this area, this red zone inside the 20, and they settled for field goals rather than attack it. So he said that this game they're going to attack it. So I would expect a second down pass here and a third down.
He said we're going to take some shots. I agree with you. Jones in motion. They swing it outside to Brent Jones. Caught by Darren Smith.
Well, I think he probably forgot the deal about going for the end zone because he goes for the short guy again.
Maybe he just told us that.
You see Brent Jones is in motion, and he's just running a little dart pattern out here, and he throws at it again. They just come up with third down. I think if you're going to attack the end zone, attack the end zone.
Got to be in there.
Right, and if you're not going to attack it, then you may as well just run the ball or something. Because now it's third down, now you have to do it.
3rd and 4, that's a little longer than you'd like. Here's Young. Chased. Touchdown, Jones, he dropped it. Had it, and it got away.
That was a heck of a play, though, by Steve Young.
Russell Maryland was all over him.
Yeah, how he did that. I mean, watch it. I mean, this is under pressure. He has pressure. This is the thing that Steve Young can do because he's so strong. He pumps. Now he has a guy hanging on him, and he still throws that ball in there. That was a perfect pass to Brent Jones.
I think it surprised Brent Jones.
Now, he probably didn't see him because he had 2 defensive guys on him between him and Steve Young.
Kofer from 25 yards. It is good with a lot left. And the 49ers lead it by the score of 10-3. 41 seconds left to play in the first quarter at Texas Stadium. The 49ers 10. The Cowboys 3. Kofer will just hit on that field goal from 25 yards out. Will kick off. Kevin Williams and Kenneth Gann. Back deep for Dallas. Over. Kevin Williams. To the 25.
You know, Pat, we talk about a lot of things that have happened and the biggest crowd here at Texas Stadium. We have a guy today right there, Bill Nader. Today is his 30th anniversary at CBS.
Amazing, as young as he looks.
What a great guy. I mean, you work with a lot of different people, and Bill Nader is one of the great ones, one of the real gentlemen. And this is his 30th CBS birthday today. Happy birthday, or anniversary, I guess you call it.
I guess. A lot of spring in his step. 1st and 10, and Emmitt Smith swings to the left. McDonald came up to make the stop.
One thing, this four-man line or this defensive front early in this game is working for the 49ers, because what Emmitt Smith likes to do is he likes to, again, run inside between his tackles or start running inside and then cut back. But again, with those big defensive linemen, he's having a tough time finding any running inside.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. San Francisco 10, Dallas 3. Back at Texas Stadium, San Francisco 10, Dallas 3. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The one big difference would be that turnover. It was opposite that in the championship game last year.
I think the 49ers came into this game, and of course they did get that turnover, and a turnover for a touchdown, but I think their offense has done well too. I mean, they had this crowd in the game. I think they took the crowd out of the game, and they've taken control of the game. They haven't let the Cowboys take control of the game.
They've only had that one possession. They did well with that.
And the biggest thing on defense has been this four-man line the 49ers are using. Not four great players, but at least four big guys there that are making the running tough for the Cowboys now.
Making them stretch, no question about it. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Novacek had it and dropped it. Incomplete. That end of the field where the Cowboys are operating now is wet. The other end is dry. Heavy rain overnight.
And what happened is they put some tarps on the field, and then when they took the tarps off the field, then that left that wet like that. You know, the water that was on the tarp then went on the field when they took the tarp off the field, and that will make some slippery footing.
49ers were all confused on defense. The Cowboys luckily had a play called in that direction. Two guys were talking, one with his back to the line of scrimmage when the play got underway.
That was a free safety, Merton Hanks. I can't believe that. He was turned the other way when the ball was snapped. Merton Hanks is over here in the left side, and you'll just see the thing. You just watch the play. They weren't exactly sure. You see Hanks right there. He's just running out of the picture, and he starts to point back. McDonald's telling him, someone get back, someone get back. And they threw right where the confusion was, but they still had enough guys. Luckily, they have 6 defensive backs in there.
Here's Aikman to throw it again, going up top. Going for Kevin Williams, incomplete. No flags.
Kevin Williams is a big play guy for Aikman. You look at his first 10 plays. You know, he's always been so successful. 7 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Week 3, 4, and 5, he was 9 out of 10. So he's had great starts.
Second down, 10, the ball number 39 in Dallas territory.
Aikman on 2nd and 10. Today he is 7 out of 11. He has Johnston on the move. 2nd and 10. This is Emmitt Smith behind the block by Price. Dana Stubblefield tripped him up.
Yards to the 44-yard line.
You know, that's Keith DeLong there being taped up, and that's why Michael Walter is playing in there. What the 49ers base defense now is 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. Romanowski and Walter are the inside linebackers. Walter replacing DeLong. John Johnson is the outside linebacker in the base defense.
Word from the 49ers is they don't know whether DeLong will be able to come back or not.
Seems like he's always hurt.
Flag on the play. Aikman down. Dennis Brown there first. Aikman has a bad shoulder, had a bad rib. Both of those on the left side.
Yeah, he was worrying about that shoulder most. He said that he hopes that he doesn't take any hits because his left shoulder really isn't feeling well, and he doesn't know how many he could take. And Dennis Brown weighs about 320
Offside
pounds.
by the defense, number 96.
About.
5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And Dennis Brown was the guy that knocked him down. Here's big Dennis Brown here. We say about 320 pounds. You watch him. If he hadn't gotten started a little early, because he came back and makes a pretty good move on Gogan. That's 2 big guys. I mean, Gogan and Dennis Brown are about 320 going against another 320.
The penalty gets Dallas a first down. This is Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt sort of disappears for a moment and then comes out the other side.
I think they finally got the idea is they got a 4-man line in there and just take this thing here and just go boom right here, boom right here, boom, and just get right in behind there and go. Don't worry about cutbacks. Just take it in there and slash, and that's exactly what he did. I think he was going right and left a little too much.
Watch Emmitt Smith. He can get through some places no one else can.
I think then he was looking for the cutback to see if it didn't have it.
Here he is again. That should be enough for another Cowboy first down. Stopped by Romanowski. Ted Washington got the assist.
You know, the 49ers defense was doing better when Dennis Brown was in there. And I think Dennis Brown, you know, when he first came to training camp, he was overweight. And what they did is they didn't let him even practice with the team for like 3 weeks. And I think this is the problem here. He's still not really in shape, and he can play when he's in there, but then he gets a little tired and they have to rest him. Then when they rest him, they don't have the big guy in there.
Aikman back to throw, flag on the play. Pass batted down. Hit by Artie Smith. But a flag on the play.
Eric Williams was blocking Artie Smith, doing everything that he could, and Artie Smith just jumped up and knocked it down. But Eric Williams is a good right tackle. In fact, I think he's one of the best tackles in all of football.
Illegal formation by the offense, number 71, lined up in the backfield. 6 men on the line. 5-yard penalty. The penalty is declined. I'm sorry. Brings up second down.
The penalty is against Mark Tuinei down here. But watch the battle up on top between, here's Eric Williams here, the right tackle going against Artie Smith. He has good position, good footwork. Artie Smith just got that left hand up and knocked the ball down.
They refused the penalty, so it's 2nd and 10. Bateman on to Smith. Bateman with time gets it out to Johnson, incomplete. George Seifert gave an incomplete call right in front of him.
You know, he was trying to go to his right. You watch, one of the problems here, you have Kevin Gogan and Eric Williams, and they're about 6'7", and sometimes Aikman can't see over those guys. And he was looking out there. He was trying to get the ball to his right to Michael Irvin. Now you say, why didn't he see him? And you look at all those big guys, and that's why he can't see this. And that's where he was looking. But then Gogan and Williams had just gotten his way, and he couldn't see him anymore.
They're not just tall, they're big. Here comes the 49er blitz. Aikman hits Irvin, who makes the catch for a first down.
That was a smart call there, Pat. If you can't see in the right side, if you're getting pressure from your right side, and your guys are big and you can't see it, just put Michael Irvin over on the left side and throw it over there.
Those two guys are small, though.
Right, I know it, but you see what they handle their guys. See, Nate Newton and Tuinei get that guy down. There's no one over there to get their hands up. Now, Aikman could see Irvin, and he could step and throw it out there to him.
That's Don Griffin, the injured 49ers, still down.
There's a call timeout on the field.
We have 11:34 left to play in the first half. 10-3 San Francisco.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders would like
This NFL news, plus start hitting the books and studying. Get your number 2 pencils and paper as Terry Bradshaw presents his National Football Quiz that you at home can test for your football IQ. Match wits with Professor Bradshaw.
You know, Don Griffin, they finally just got him up, Pat. He was down there right on the sideline. He was the guy who was covering Michael Irvin on that completion. He just came off the injured list. He had a pulled groin, and that injury there didn't look like it was the same injury.
Michael Magruder, number 26, has taken his place. That looked like something was wrong with Griffin's arm or hand.
Yeah, in fact, he's holding his right arm now as he's walking off the field.
Information we have is it is a dislocated left shoulder. 1st and 10. Emmitt Smith. Cut down by Stubblefield.
I I think that's one thing, again, that this 49er four-man defensive line has done, has taken away the cutback. So now Smith is just taking the ball right at the hole. And you see Don Griffin walking off the field there. He's, over the years, been the best cover corner in the 49ers. And you just tell the way he's walking and shaking his head, just the look in his face. He's not going to be back.
Irvin is split wide to the left. That's Price in motion. The handoff is to Emmett Smith. Not much. Stopped again by Stubblefield. Dana Stubblefield, another big guy. 49ers #1 draft choice.
Yes, they got big guys in there. I mean, when you put Dennis Brown in there and Ted Washington and Dana Stubblefield, you're talking about all guys over 300 pounds, along with Kevin Fagan, who over the years has been a great run player. I mean, you've got some beef in there. I mean, you look up there, it's going to be tired beef pretty soon because it's hot down there, and the beef looks like it's starting to tire a little.
Right now, they've gotten the sunshine. Here's Aikman. Novacek fumble. I think he fell on it. Out comes the ball. Novacek was down. Now they say incomplete. Jimmy Johnson, you just saw perhaps signal field goal.
Yeah, he did. When he saw incomplete, he signaled field goal. He wasn't happy about signaling it. But if you look, that's not the kind of start that Jimmy Johnson wanted when his team so far has dropped 4 passes. Part of it is the Cowboys, part of it they've dropped passes, but they're not. But this 49er defense has played well so far.
You might remember last week against the Colts, they faked the field goal and Novacek ran. This time it's on Eddie Murray, good. So the Cowboys move a little bit closer. It's 10-6. The 49ers lead. Dallas has had the ball 14 minutes and 7 seconds. San Francisco 5:50.
And I think it's going to start to tell on this 49er defense because they, on that last drive, started to tire. You look at Dennis Brown there, he's getting a retape job, but the 49ers are going to have to need him the rest of the game.
Cam Lee, Dexter Carter, deep for the 49ers. Dexter Carter is dangerous. He's in danger right now. Joe Fishback and Gant down to make the stop.
I'll tell you, I think the biggest collision was with Terry Hogue. It looks like his own man, number 41, Hogue, was coming back there at full speed, and it looks like the collision. Watch Carter here and see if Hogue, as he comes back, there's 41 right there. I mean, he was the first guy that hit him. One of the Cowboys knocked Hogue around and knocked him right into Carter. And Hogue just goes, boom. That's something you don't expect. You're wearing a red jersey. You don't expect the red jersey to fly by you.
On first down, Young back to throw it. Has it complete to Brent Jones. Picked up by Thomas Everett.
Pass complete to Brent Jones.
Went out to the 35.
Line advances out near the 35-yard line.
That's the thing about this 49er offense. A lot like the Cowboy offense. You get so concerned with Jerry Rice and John Taylor, Ricky Waters in the backfield, that a Brent Jones could sneak right up the middle on you.
They have so many weapons, both offenses.
Yeah, Jones already has 4 catches. So
one of the 25-second clocks, but one of the others is working, so we'll continue to use the play clocks on the field.
What they're saying is those clocks in the end zone either are not working or incorrect. So they'll keep the actual time on the field.
Well, they're all working now. Maybe he just had to say that to get them straightened out.
Yeah, they look right now. Well, no, they don't.
Yeah, one isn't working.
No. Ricky Waters. Flag on the play. Holding against the 49ers is going to be called.
You know, one thing, this was supposed to be a battle of runners between Ricky Waters and Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith has had a tough time. He's had a fumble, 4-man line. I think that's only the second time Ricky Waters has carried the ball today.
Holding by the offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty.
Holding
Repeat
call
first
against
down.
Ralph Tam.
Yeah, that's an old Bill Walsh thing. And he used to, you know, where teams would say they want to establish the run, then they go to the pass, and Bill Walsh used to establish the pass, then go to the run later. The 49ers may be thinking of that, maybe tiring his defense down and then using a running game and Ricky Waters in the second half.
If we can get ahead, tire him with a running attack. Control the clock with a running attack. Young is down, fumble. Cowboys have it. Or did. Now they do. The fumble popped out and the Cowboys got it. Tim Norton on the bottom of the pile. Darren Smith made the recovery, I believe. Norton had an assist. And some anger.
Hey, he was really fired up. That was a big play that the Cowboys needed. Again, Ricky Waters is split out as a receiver. I think the Cowboys are starting to rush the passer now. They come in a blitz. Haley was the guy that got there. You see Charles Haley. He hit him and then kind of leg whipped him around. Watch Charles Haley, number 94. He comes in there. I think he missed him with his hand, and then he leg whipped him and got him with his right knee.
His right
and knocked
leg.
the ball out of there with his right foot, maybe.
That's a new way of doing it.
Charles Haley knows how to raise havoc. And that's one thing. You know, you may not have great stats or a lot of sacks, but when you put him on defense, he's a playmaker and a havoc raiser.
And in his own way, a leader. Very much a leader. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 19. That's Price in motion. Fake to Emmett Smith. Here's Aikman. Going to take off with it. For about 7.
You see, old Nate Newton didn't know what it was. He didn't expect Troy Aikman never run. Old Nate Newton is out there leading him. He pulls from the left guard, and old Nate just stands out there blocking and blocking, and there was no one to block, and he wouldn't lead Aikman. That's what Aikman was mad at. He wanted old Nate to get going.
Nate says Troy is not supposed to run. It's too valuable to be doing
I
that.
know. So Nate just stood out there, and Troy ran right by him, and Nate was still standing there to get a lateral, maybe.
2nd and 4. Novacek in motion. Emmett Smith. Emmett hit after he picked up for half the yard. Thrown backwards by Tim McDonald. And Romanowski.
Again, I think this four-man line is doing the job. They're not giving any cutbacks. If we just watch here, he's in the I formation. He's going to start to the left. And we see right here, we can just stop it right here. We can see all these 49ers in here and all these bodies. They're not giving him any cutback. They're forcing him to go that way. And then when they got him going that way, they're all going that way. And then they can gang tackle and make things happen.
3rd and 4. Aikman outside, caught by Irvin. Out of bounds to the back of 1. Alvin Harper or Irvin? Irvin. About a foot away from a touchdown.
And he's having more success throwing to Michael Irvin when Michael Irvin lines up on the left side. See a 3-step drop, just throw it out there, that little quicker short out. Again, the ball didn't cross the plane. So he tried to get in his right hand so the ball could cross the plane, but he had the ball in his left hand.
1st and goal from the 1. Smith and Johnston. This is Emmett Smith. Touchdown. And the Cowboys move ahead. You're so right about keeping that defense out there a long time. That'll wear on them.
And it's starting to show, and again, that's a result of a turnover. Remember how this drive started. It started with a turnover. Watch I formation again to the right. You're going to see Daryl Johnston right there, get the block right there on Merton Hanks. And then Emmett Smith can just walk it into the end zone. That's why Daryl Johnston is so important to this offense.
Murray's extra point is good. So with 7 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first half. Cowboys 13, 49ers 10. by 3, 13-10, 7:22 left to play in the first half.
This is why Kenneth Gant is a marked man. When he goes down into kickoff coverage, he does all the celebrating before, and they're going to get him when he comes down.
Dexter Carter knocked down inside the 10 by Brock Marion. They made a couple of trades, the Cowboys did. Here's Gant. This is what you were talking about.
This is before the kickoff coverage. He goes down there, and he gets the fans all excited. Watch him. He'll go in there, and he'll lead the cheers and get them all excited. Now, the kickoff coverage team is watching him, so they're going to get him. He goes there. He looks like Hulk Hogan. But I'll tell you one thing. He does it before, but when that ball's kicked off, he goes like heck. That guy's a good football player. He really is.
1st and 10. The 49ers back at their own 9. This is Waters. Ricky Waters out of bounds at about the 15.
You know what Ricky Waters said? And he said, it's coming. Because he's only carried the ball a couple times. And I think they've been using him. They've been using him as a wide receiver and a decoy a lot, and now I think they're going to start. Look, so far he's only rushed the ball 2 times for 9 yards. Emmett Smith has 13 rushes, 48 yards, and of course he just scored that touchdown. So I think they're going to get Waters into the game now, out of the decoy and into the running.
They have to calm him down a little bit. He gets too excited. Young gets it outside to Logan. First down, San Francisco.
This Mark Logan has come in, and statistically, he's done a good job for the 49ers. He's done a good job of catching and running and all those things, but the 49ers don't need another weapon. And I think this offense, really misses Tom Rathman. I think Logan's done a job, and he's given them some numbers, and you can look at the numbers and say they haven't missed Rathman, but I feel that if there is an ingredient that's keeping the 49ers out of sync, I think it's Tom Rathman.
Logan is out now, replaced by Dexter Carter, but this is Ricky Waters. He doesn't get much. Tony Tolbert, Tony Casillas. Shut that run down.
Yeah, you look here at the right side of the line now. Casillas is a guy, he's taking on a double team. You see now, he shouldn't make the play. He just got at the bottom of the pile. In fact, he really didn't. He just piled up things. You know, in the old days, you used to say when Harris Barton and Ralph Tam, when you get double teamed, you just grab grass. You just go down and grab the grass. Artificial turf, you just go down and get turf. And that's what Casillas did.
Just don't lose ground.
yeah, just make a pile there. Double team, make a pile.
Rice hit by Brown, but he will have enough for the 49ers to move the chains.
I think the 49ers offensively, Pat, are probably figuring out a couple things. That we have to get Ricky Waters involved more in running the ball, and we have to get Jerry Rice involved more in catching passes. We have to calm Jimmy Johnson down.
We don't need to get him more involved.
He is one involved head coach. You know, some of them on the sideline, you see some of these coaches, they look stoic all the time. Jimmy Johnson never looks stoic.
No. Here's Young. Ball was on the way before Ricky Waters ever looked back. He just turned around and all of a sudden the ball was there.
Pass complete to number 32.
I know, and he has some sweet moves too, doesn't he? I mean, that was the thing. You see more and more players, they get on that sideline and they go out of bounds. And that time he got on the sideline like he was going to go out and just planted that right foot, bounced right back to the inside and got a first down. Charles Haley's back in there. He was a guy, in fact, that last Dallas touchdown, I'd give credit to Charles Haley because he's the guy that caused the turnover.
First down, San Francisco at the Dallas 48. Ricky Waters behind McIntyre. About 4. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, and at Phoenix, Garrison Hurst, his first National Football League touchdown from a yard out. Cardinals lead the Redskins 13-3, 2 minutes to play in the first half at Phoenix, Pat.
Second down, 6.
3:40 left to play in the first half here with the Cowboys up by 3. Amp Lee into the backfield now, 2nd and 6. Young will throw it. Pass was intended for Rice. Should have been picked off by Larry Brown and Thomas Everett, who was back there.
Yeah, it looked like Steve Young got hit just as he was throwing it, too, because as you look downfield at Rice, he had double coverage, but it looked like Jerry Rice had beaten the double coverage. Then Steve Young threw the ball short. Because you're going to see Rice out here. He's coming down, and he's going to run a post, and I think he runs right by the 2 guys. You see him up there on top. See, now he gets right there. See, he is behind him. And the ball was thrown short. Had that ball been out there another 10 yards, that's a 49er touchdown.
3rd and 6. Young's pass is broken up by Kenneth Gant, who plays the nickel when they use the extra defensive backs.
And that's where the Dallas defense is so good, when they can get you in on 3rd and long, then get that nickel in there and get Kenneth Gant and Darren Woodson at linebacker position, and they are really tough.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer back to kick. 11 punts. And now the 6th game. That's not many. Kevin Williams back deep for Dallas.
Kevin Williams, the lone safety.
This is a good kick. That signal, the ball goes into the end zone. A flag down in the end zone.
There's a flag on the play.
You know, is there anything plainer in the world than a referee's cap?
No.
I mean, how would you buy one of those? How would you buy one of those? Would you go in there and say, just give me plain white cap? I don't think anyone has ever bought one of those caps except a referee.
They used to wear black hats. I think it made them seem too evil.
Yeah, but at least the black caps, they have white stripes.
Yeah,
but
right.
The white is about as plain as you can get. Now, Jimmy Johnson, I think, would like to get his hands on that white cap.
He wouldn't wear a white cap.
Well, there's a white cap that you could wear
in this part of the country.
Holding by the left end on the kicking team before the kick. The penalty is declined. The result is a touchback, 1st down.
3:05 left to play in the first half. 13-10 Dallas over San Francisco. Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Game 2 of the World Series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto leads that series 1-0. First pitch at 8:29. Terry Mulholland for the Phillies. Dave Stewart for Toronto. Game 2 tonight here on CBS. Here's Kevin Fagan. He's been out with a bad knee. Had knee problems for the last few years.
And then you see Artie Smith is in there. Ted Washington is in there. Dennis Brown is in there. So the 49ers have gone back to a 3-man line. You know, you look at that temperature, and you can tell that the players are hot down there. I mean, this really isn't good football weather for big guys. And I don't think it's, 78 or whatever it is, but there's the humidity is the thing that gets you down here. In fact, there's a tornado watch, huh?
Right.
Yeah, tornado. That's the first you get a tornado watch, and you get a tornado warning, and in this area there's a tornado watch going. So maybe, when you get a tornado watch, I think you get some humidity, and big old guys don't like humidity or tornado watches or any of that stuff.
It's time to find another location. When you get a warning.
Yeah, or get some cool air blowing on you or something. No, if it's tornado, you got to get in the ditch.
That's Darrell Johnston. For about 5 yards, stopped by Martin Harrison.
Because with all that heat, with all that humidity, see it takes its toll on guys like Washington and 96 Dennis Brown. You can just tell the way they're standing. I mean, you don't even, it even hurts you to get in the huddle. I mean, you don't want to take those hands off your hip because you got to breathe too much.
You don't want the huddle.
You don't go all the way into the huddle.
You don't want the huddle to end.
You just kind of lean your head in a little and call it a huddle.
2nd and 5. Aikman. That's Michael Irvin. And it's a Dallas first down. Stopped by Tim McDonald.
You know, Michael Irvin is one of these guys that, you know, that plays with a lot of life and loves to play the game and compete, and says he likes it when guys are close to him because he can use his body to ward them off. And then after he gets the ball, he never thinks of going down. He always tries to get it as far as you can.
Irvin has 6 catches. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 13-10. Fans on both sides. John Madden was talking about the humidity a moment ago.
And it's always the big guys that try and find the fans. And the other thing is, when you get a break, you see Dennis Brown, he's so tired right now, he don't even care where the water goes, but he's not going to have, he's going to have someone squirted in there.
More of it.
The guy gave him a squirt, he just took more. You know, keep squirting water towards my head.
2 minutes left first half. 1st and 10 Dallas. Here's Aikman. Irvin again. Not enough for a first down this time.
Aikman's pass complete to Michael.
About 8. Magruder wrapped him up.
You know, and then the tough part, Pat, I mean, here's big Dennis Brown. Now watch, he has to go against big Kevin Gogan. So you not only get the hot, the humidity, the tornado warning and all that stuff, but then you have to go against a 320-pound guy in Kevin Gogan, and Gogan's winning that battle.
That's about 650 pounds of battle.
I know it.
Here's Emmett Smith. Emmett to midfield. That will be a Dallas first down. Romanowski made the stop. Emmett Smith, of course, late missed the entire training camp and the first 2 games of the regular season. Now says he's just getting back into shape.
Midas.
13-10 with 1 minute and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas leads their total plays. Ball right at the 50. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. The 49ers have all 3 of theirs. Smith out of bounds will stop it.
Pass complete to Emmitt Smith to the 46-yard line.
Chased out by Eric Davis.
In the first half, this Cowboy team has done a good job on first down, and that's what helps you on 2nd and 3rd down. You know, and most of the time they're getting over 4 yards, and that's a big thing. I mean, if you don't make anything on first down, then you're going to have a 2nd and long and a 3rd and long.
2nd and 6. Emmitt Smith on the draw. Found a little opening. It closed quickly. Dennis Brown. Kevin Fagan made the stop. This is a Dallas timeout, so they have 1 left.
Timeout, Dallas. That's their 2nd team timeout. It's a 40-second timeout.
13:02 left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium. Now that sun is off the field, so it shouldn't be a factor anymore if it ever was. 13-10, 1 minute, 2 seconds left.
Dennis Brown is still trying to get that oxygen anywhere he can find it, and I don't think there's a lot of it down in that field.
No.
And then, you know, and then he's going again. He's playing that left side, which is the right side of the Cowboy offense, which has that big Kevin Gogan, and that's a big load. And Kevin Gogan's a local guy out of Daly City, California, and right next to him is Eric Williams. So, Brown got this heat to deal with, a tornado watch to deal with, and then Eric Williams and Kevin Gogan to deal with.
I don't think he knows about the tornado watch.
No wonder he's so tired.
Darrell Johnson got enough for the first down. Just nudged it far enough. Dallas trying to get lined up in a hurry. Clock continues to run now with 45 seconds left.
Starting the clock with 44 seconds remaining.
And timeout.
And what they have to do is they need about another 15 yards. I mean, they need, to get it down there where, it's a comfortable. They could probably do it with another 10 yards, where it's a comfortable field goal for Murray.
And stop the clock with the Aikman grounding the ball. So they still have one timeout remaining.
Right, so that means they can throw it inside. They got Michael Irvin out here on the left-hand side. They just took the timeout. So it was San Francisco took the timeout. I think they were going to throw to Irvin on the left side.
So the 49ers are down to 2 timeouts left.
And again, that was a 49er timeout. So the Cowboys do have 1 timeout left. So that means that you don't have to throw the ball into the end zone, or you don't have to get out of bounds. You can throw it in. Michael Irvin's best pattern, favorite pattern, is when they call a deep in. Up the field and to the inside. He's on the left side. That's where Aikman likes to look for him.
I would expect he'll be doubled. Aikman sacked from behind by Stubblefield as he stepped up into the pocket.
That was a big play for that 49er defense, because of anything that they couldn't take, here's Stubblefield right here. If there's anything that the Cowboys couldn't take, it was a sack. Watch him, he's against Nate Newton. That's just a bull rush. He gets Nate up, then he gets him going back and just pushes him right back, then takes that left and whaps Aikman in the head. Now this is what he was looking at, but if Nate Newton doesn't get his guy blocked, he's not going to throw it to him. He's out there to the right side. There was no one open on the right side. They doubled Michael Irvin on the left side, so part of it was good coverage. Part of it was a good rush by Stubblefield. And the bad part of it was the Cowboys with big old Nate Newton got pushed right back into his quarterback.
And when Aikman stepped up, he stepped right in to Stubblefield.
The left hook of Stubblefield.
Join Greg Terry and Eric Dickerson for all the latest scores and highlights, plus a preview of tonight's World Series Game 2 between the Phillies and the Blue Jays. 3rd and 15.
I liked it the other night, and the Phillies were playing, and big old John Kruk just blew out the back of his pants and played the whole game that way.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a nose tackle. He ought to be down here in Texas Stadium playing nose.
Here is Aikman back to throw. To Irvin. And he does get out of bounds for the first down. And they still have 34 seconds left on the clock.
And you could tell that they needed a play. They needed to get into field goal. You know they're going to go to Michael Irvin. They put him on the left. That's where they like him today. And you see how big and strong he is. And he always has a little push for you. And right there, just before he made his turn, he pushed Michael Magruder and then made the out. But you darn near knew they were going to go to Michael Irvin on that play.
You darn near knew he was going to push when he made the cut.
That's how he gets open.
Here's a blitz. They're chasing Aikman. Aikman headed out of bounds, and there he gets. At about the 21.
I'll tell you, that was a big comeback from the sack, that play to Michael Irvin, because they were getting close to field goal range. They got a sack. They knocked it out. He come right back. Boom. And he hit Michael Irvin. See, if you look at the last play, you look at how Michael Irvin set him up. You see, Magruder was playing that deep in that he liked, so he stepped in. So then on the next play, after he got him on the end, then he gets him on the out. Here's the last play. They just flushed Aikman out, and he had to run.
Johnson flushed him out. 2nd and 4. Aikman to throw. Irvin again. Out of bounds at about the 2. He is something. Boy, he's good.
He's a playmaker. You know, Jimmy Johnson always talks about playmakers, guys that'll make plays, and you get the idea with Michael Irvin that in any tough situation, you know, end of the half, end of the game, you need a play, he wants the ball, and he probably wants the ball more than anyone else on this field. Then when he gets it, he wants to score a touchdown. That time he got it switched to his right hand, but he didn't get close enough to the goal line.
And when you have 17 brothers and sisters, as Michael Irvin does, once you get the ball, you do take off with it. The 49ers take this timeout.
Well, they had to, Pat. They had 12 men on the field, and they had to get someone off, so they had to take the timeout.
9 catches. Here's his 9th.
Well, you know, he's done everything over here to Magruder. Here he just runs a slant, but then, not only that, but then he runs a slant, and the minute he catches it, he's thinking where he can go. He feels Magruder's outside, so he pivots and goes back outside where Magruder's coming in from. That's probably why he's lined up there to left. We know that Don Griffin is out, and then Magruder came in, and he's been playing that position, so Michael Irvin said, I found one over here. So he's been playing and catching most of those balls on the left side since Griffin went out.
They mark the ball at the 3. It'll be first and goal from there with 22 seconds left to play in the first half.
And this has to be a passing down because the Cowboys have no more timeouts.
Here's the pass, and the 49ers are there again with Stubblefield. And the Cowboys don't have any timeout. Hurry. The encouragement from Jimmy Johnson and from Aikman. Trying to get lined up in a hurry. 16 seconds left. 15 now. Aikman stops it. Just jams the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson knew that he didn't have any timeouts, that they had to get back there, and some of the receivers were still in the end zone. In fact, Michael Irvin there was one of them, and they were all telling him to hustle back, hustle back. Michael Irvin said, I've already done a day's work in this first half. Jimmy Johnson's going for another one. Again, he's going for the shot in the end zone, has to throw the ball in the end zone.
If it's incomplete, then he'll field goal. Aikman in the direction of Alvin Harper, incomplete. And here comes the field goal unit.
He was probably lucky that that was an incomplete pass, because Harper would have gotten that ball and then gotten tackled there. They would have had a scramble to get the ball downed again. If you're not going to throw it in the end zone, it's probably better to throw an incomplete pass.
Eddie Murray trying to make it 3 for 3. Kick is good, and it's 16 to 10. Dallas leads. 29-yard field goal by Eddie Murray, the ex-Detroit Lion.
I think the big thing about this first half is not as much as 16 to 10 lead, but is the amount of time the Cowboy offense has been on the field and really made that 49er defense work, because they have really drained that defense in this first half.
Yet they have been able to come up with only 16 points.
Yeah, but I think it's going to show in that time of possession. I think it's going to show in the drain in the second half. Because the 49ers maybe surprised them with that 4-man line in the first half.
I think they did.
And it was very successful, especially taking away the run to Emmitt Smith, or specifically the cutback to Emmitt Smith.
Consecutive field goals, culminated 16 plays.
Dallas has had the ball almost 19 minutes, keeping that 49er defense on the field.
Yeah, and the 49ers are, you know, again trying to play a big man defense, and when, you know, the big men are the first guys that are going to get tired. And this is probably going to be some kind of squib kick because Gant didn't get back there and fire up the crowd.
A line drive kick.
It's a squitter.
It's a squib kick. It's into the end zone in any case, with the 49ers down it. 10 seconds left. in the first half. 7 seconds, beg your pardon.
I think the 49ers are probably just going to, obviously, they're just going to run this out and go in and kind of regroup and get refreshed and do all those things. The Cowboys will, again, probably be talking about that 4-man line and making their adjustments to that. 49ers will probably be thinking about how they can get Ricky Waters more involved in this game.
49ers, as you said, will just run it out. So that's the end of the first half with the score: Dallas 16, San Francisco 10.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Your Allstate agent for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be.
From our National Football Quiz, well, here's the kind of question that you should be studying up for. Which field goal kicker was known as the Toe?
I know who that is. That's the guy who kicked a 63-yard field goal, right?
The right answer and the rest of my quiz next Sunday on the NFL Today. Study hard.
The NFL Today Dockers halftime report is sponsored by new Loose Fit Dockers. Nobody does pants like Dockers.
We're all cramming for the quiz. Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw and Eric Dickerson. Halftime of the game you're watching, the Dallas Cowboys leading the 49ers by a score of 16-10. You made the comment, Eric, that you don't think this is going to stay a close game for long.
No, I don't. I feel like that Dallas will overpower San Francisco. They have the team that can just really run the football and take the game over, because San Francisco is not as strong as they were in the past.
Okay, how about Dana Stubblefield in the 49er defensive line?
2 sacks, got a rookie out of Kansas. But, you know, Eric, one of the things I always liked in games like this, you take away the stars, you take away Jerry Rice, and they always kind of sneak up with a guy like Taylor. I always liked Taylor in big games. We haven't really heard from him yet. Waters hadn't done a lot, so second half, you know, what the heck, flip a coin and say Taylor's going to do something.
What the heck?
What the heck?
In Phoenix, the Cardinals and the Washington Redskins have gone to the third quarter. The Cardinals leading the Redskins by a score of 13-3. Washington 4 turnovers in this game. Mark Rippon has been intercepted once and he has fumbled twice. Phoenix in the lead by 10. In San Diego, the Chiefs on a Nick Lowry field goal leading the Chargers at halftime 10-7. Joe Montana to Marcus Allen for the Kansas City touchdown in that game. Earlier today at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Steelers handed the Saints their first loss of the year, 37-14. Wade Wilson throwing. He made problems with Rob Wilson all day.
Don't want to go into Steeler country. 5-0, playing those tough black and gold Steelers, Greg. This is what happens every time.
2 interceptions by Rod Woodson. He was very pleased after the game.
We played well today. You know, we were going out there, we're flying around to the ball, and we're just trying to make plays. If you have fun, you fly onto the ball, things will start happening for you, and that's been our little key and our little way we're going to play week in and week out. We had a good challenge for us, and we rose to the occasion.
5 turnovers by the New Orleans Saints today. Also rising to the occasion today, the New York Giants, who beat the Eagles 21-10, taking over sole possession of the top spot in the NFC East. Lewis Tillman, 2 TDs and a career-high 169 yards.
I never thought I'd have this kind of game against Philadelphia because they're known for their great defense. And it's just the idea that our offensive line did a great job, and they opened the holes for me, and I was just able to take advantage of what they gave me.
The Giants are now 5-1 on the year. In Detroit, the Lions over the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 30-10. They played their 800th game in franchise history. Mel Gray. Eric, is there a better return man in the league?
Nowhere, I don't think, in the country.
Speed does not necessarily mean you're a good returner, but Mel can do it.
He can do it. You know, they had an angle on him there, but this guy's been doing it now for I don't know how many years, several Pro Bowls, and one of the weapons when the Lions were struggling at quarterback has been the fact that they've been very good on special teams.
Herman Moore caught 2 touchdown passes for Detroit. In Cincinnati, Vinny Testaverde got the start, 3 touchdown passes. The Browns over the Bengals, 28-17. And in New England, Warren Moon came off the Houston bench to throw a couple of touchdown passes. The Oilers beat the Patriots 28-14. Coming up tonight on CBS, Game 2 of the World Series with the Blue Jays up 1-0 over the Phillies. For a preview, we go to Pat O'Brien at Skydome.
All right, Greg, Terry, hi, everybody, here in Skydome. We are getting ready for Game 2 of the 1993 World Series, and for perennial all-star second baseman Roberto Alomar of the Blue Jays, this is just another day at the office, and Alomar is part of the growing number of people who prefer to work at home. As you can see, home for Roberto is Skydome Hotel. He just rolls out of bed, hops in the first elevator, wanders through the Skydome catacombs, where he eventually becomes his own elevator operator, and in short order, he's at his place of business. And oh, what a productive evening of business he enjoyed last night. They call him the vacuum cleaner of the infield. He had a great night in the field. Also MVP of last night's Game 1 here in Skydome, and they call him Rockin' Robin here in Toronto. Tonight, the Jays will try to make it 2 straight over the Phillies with postseason veteran Dave Stewart on the mound.
From what I saw, they take a lot of pitches, and I throw a lot of strikes. So to me, if they're going to take pitches like they did tonight, it's going to be to my advantage because I'm pretty good at strike 1. And if they give me strike 1, that allows me to work with my fork ball and come with my breaking ball.
Confidence. The Phils will go with lefty Terry Mulholland, who was roughed up by the Braves in his NLCS appearance. We will be here at 8 o'clock Eastern Time for Baseball 93. First pitch slated for 8:29. That's a story from Skydome. Now back to the Greg and the Terry, fellas.
All right, Pat, and more football coming your way after this word from your local station.
Is Herman incurably romantic or just incurably weird?
Women make your life a living hell. Then you die 6 to 8 years before they do.
Evening shade. Then the family frog croaks.
Kelly, come on, you're a doctor.
I'm a plastic surgeon, Beth. You want me to do his eyes?
Dave's World after Evening Shade, Monday.
Can't you pump his little froggy arms?
Like I was saying, during the game tonight, we're going to be bringing you a preview of my new show.
South of Sunset.
Starts Wednesday, October 27th on CBS.
Wow! Give me strength.
This is CBS.
How do you know which motor oil to buy? They all look alike. They feel alike. You can't see them working in your engine. Well, first you ask the people who know cars best. ASC certified master technicians. And then you ask them which oil they put in their own cars. More top mechanics use Valvoline than any other brand of motor oil. Valvoline can help cars go 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put in theirs.
People who know use Valvoline.
Jenny thought it was so funny watching her dad do homework.
Sears brake specialists want you to have the best service, so Ray Lyles studied hard and earned his Automotive Service Excellence certification.
It was like being back in school.
If you want a tested, proven professional, look for this badge. And no one has more ASE certifications than Sears. That means no one can give you more peace of mind. Sears Tire and Auto Center. We're driven to satisfy.
Scrambled eggs, light, fluffy pancakes, Frisch's special drop biscuits and sausage gravy, French toast, sausage links and patties, bacon, seasoned hash browns, and fresh fruit. Big Boy even makes their own fresh baked pastries. Served weekdays for only $3.65. The Big Boy Breakfast Bar, another unique ingredient that you'll only find at your neighborhood Frisch's Big Boy. Make sure you don't miss it.
The subtle, understated commentary of Robin Miller on Sports Lock.
Halftime at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys leading the San Francisco 49ers 16-10.
You know, I was the first one in my family to go to college. It was a nice school thing, which is cool because now I can do some good things and get back what I learned. And the brothers, they see me, and maybe they'll want to do something better for themselves, you know? Because the younger generation makes the same mistakes we do. I mean, whose fault is that? Man, there's just a lot of happening things, you know, around when you stop giving in.
What's the worst day in a woman's life?
When she's 30!
Celebrate Corky's birthday.
This party's going to be about as festive as an evening with Dr. Kevorkian.
All new Murphy Brown. Then, Jack proves chivalry isn't dead.
Would you please give me a little help here?
It just hurts a little. Love and War at the Murphy Brown, Monday.
Bob, 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 Bob is back, is back, Bob, Bob, Bobby loves the body, Uncle Cherry, Rose, and Betty White, Bob is back, back, back on CBS.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Compact Computer Corporation. MCI, the company that brings you Proof Positive. And by Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 16-10. The Cowboys lead the 49ers. And let's look at some of the first half statistics. We'll look on that way.
Well, you can see that Guy McIntyre was trying to fire this 49er team up because they had things going early, and then in the second quarter they seemed to lose the momentum. You could just see they're getting beaten in rushing yards, and they're getting beaten in passing yards. They both have a turnover. But the big thing, Pat, to me is still this time of possession where the Cowboys had the ball almost 19 minutes, and that wore down that 49er defense.
It is definitely not as hot as it was earlier when that sun was on the artificial surface.
I think as you look at Guy McIntyre there, too, the other thing the time of possession does besides wear down the defense, it frustrates the other offense. And I think the 49er offense, because they don't have the ball enough, has a little frustration from that.
Particularly frustrates the quarterback. Murray's kick sails to Dexter Carter and sails out of the end zone. We talked earlier during the broadcast about the great players involved here. Look at the numbers on Steve Young and Troy Aikman.
Well, I think that you know that's about what you'd expect. I think the big thing are the other guys. I mean, Young has done his job. Aikman has probably done his job. But here's the story. Ricky Waters only carried the ball 4 times, 16 yards. He has to get more involved. Emmitt Smith, 15 for 59 yards. He has to start having some more success.
This time, Ricky Waters splits wide to the left. Now he moves inside.
Both ends off.
Yeah, they've been using him as kind of like a decoy. I mean, I think it's all right for a while, that you put him as a decoy, but somewhere you have to start running the ball to him. And then here's the other story, Jerry Rice. He's your playmaker on offense. If you're going to win, Jerry Rice has to make plays. He only has 2 receptions. On the other side, look at what Michael Irvin has done in that first half.
John, what's happened now is they've turned all of those clocks on the field off. And the official time again will be kept strictly on the field. They're all out of sync. Young to Brent Jones, hit by Norton.
Steve Young's pass is complete to number 84, Brent Jones. He has written.
Yeah, you watch Guy McIntyre come out fired up, and you knew that that he was going to make his block. Watch him, the left guard there. He's going against Russell Maryland, and that's a pretty good battle. And Guy McIntyre is not a big, strong back guy, but he's a very good technician, good run blocker, and one of the best pulling guards in football. And I think he's doing a pretty good job in his battle with Russell Maryland today.
Indeed he is. 2nd and 3. Young to Ricky Waters. Waters has the 49er first down outside their 35 to about the 36. Stopped by Dixon Edwards.
Here's where they're going to run. They're going to run right here in this hole right here. See, you look for a bubble, and that's what the bubble is right there. So you look for the bubble, then you get the double team. See McIntyre come down, get the double team, then you turn Haley out, then you get the lead block, and you run right at the bubble. The bubble is where the linebacker is between the 2 defensive linemen. Turn in on a double team, turn out, and lead block in the linebacker.
Young again to Waters, same spot. The tackle made by Larry Brown as he cut down Waters.
That was a heck of a tackle by Larry Brown because there was a big hole there for Ricky Waters, and usually when Waters gets in the open field, he's not going to be tackled by one guy or not the first guy. And you see what Brown knows, you're not a big guy. Brown's not a big guy. Little guys have always been taught when you only weigh 180 pounds, you go for the guy at his lowest point. Larry Brown went for Ricky Waters' ankle.
And he only got a yard. 2nd and 9. Brent Jones in motion. The Young back to throw. Whirled it to Logan. Logan still on his feet. Got about 3 or 4 extra yards on his own. Dragging Dixon Edwards.
Well, it looked like Dixon Edwards got him, and then he was going to be in a spinner, and he just spun him for some more first down. Watch Logan here as he catches. Now he starts to spin, and Edwards spins him right around, and Logan just keeps going. That's like some kind of game you would play, you know, where you whip a guy, you grab his arm, and then you turn him, and then you whip him and throw him up somewhere.
I haven't played that game lately.
Yeah, well, you used to be. Remember, you always had a whipper.
Third and short. Young straight ahead for the San Francisco first down. Stopped by Casillas with help from others.
One of the advantages of having a big, strong quarterback is an additional play you can run on short yardage. And that's what Steve Young did then. You just take the ball and you find a soft spot, just kind of fall into it. And he did that time right behind a fired-up Guy McIntyre.
Haley sort of takes the outside move. McIntyre gets a good block inside. This time Haley went inside. Pass incomplete. Ricky Waters, the intended receiver.
Yeah, Ricky Waters made a big thing this week that he was as good or better than Emmitt Smith, and you know, he has a point. I mean, he was a Pro Bowl running back last year, as was Emmitt Smith, and I think that guys really get into it when they play against each other, and Ricky Waters was looking for a big game today, and he talked about it during the week. It fired up that Cowboy defense, and maybe that's why the 49ers have used him mostly as a decoy so far.
Could be. Second down. Blitz coming. Young is down. Struggles for a moment. He is hit by Darren Smith, and nobody blocked him.
Darren Smith is that starting linebacker now, the rookie linebacker. When they move Ken Norton into the inside, they move Darren Smith out there. Watch him. He's right up here on top. He just comes right off that corner from his backside. No one blocks him, and he's strong enough to get him down with Charles Haley helping him there a little. Geez, now that's too soon. I mean, a rookie, you don't go to that stuff, put your hand up to you there when you're a rookie.
He's only been starting a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's too soon. Too much celebration for too little too soon.
Third down. They need about 17. The rush again. They had a screen pass call to Waters. Waters hit. It appears to be a yard or so short of a first down.
Boy, did he have a collision with Thomas Everett. Everett still straightening out his helmet on that one. But he's the guy who makes the end of the play. Screen pass, let the lineman go. Young's looking him off, looks to his right, comes back here to Waters. Guy McIntyre, 62, one of the best open field blockers in football. He knocks his man out of the picture. And watch what happens when 27, Thomas Everett comes in. Boom, that's the end of the play.
Back to punt is Wilmsmeyer. The Cowboys showing we're going to try to block it. Kevin Williams will let it bounce. A flag on the play. Into the end zone. No penalty now.
That official that started running in towards the referee is the guy that did throw the flag down there in the end zone.
He already saw perhaps Jimmy Johnson saying decline it. Don't give him another chance with that dangerous offense.
Jimmy Johnson declined it before he knew what it was.
Yeah.
I don't think the officials are sure what it was. The players in the 49ers sideline are starting to cramp up. You can see them working there on Mark Logan.
Ed Hockley. Perhaps this could be offsetting fouls. Let's see.
There was a double foul on the play. An illegal formation by the kicking team. The right side of the line was back off the line of scrimmage. By rule, that penalty is disregarded. There was also a post-possession foul by the receiving team, a holding, post-possession foul. The result of the play was a touchback. We will enforce to the 10-yard line The receiving team will keep possession of the ball after the foul. First down.
Oh, boy. Hey. You know, why do people open their mouth to listen?
I don't know. I know why he opened his mouth to talk. What an audience he had. He got more airtime than we did.
How'd you like to buy a car with some serious attitude? Don't need to. This new Achieva Sport Coupe is very reasonable. No, really. And with a hot V6 engine and four-wheel anti-lock brakes, it's got all the attitude you need, and then some. Yeah, especially when you can afford it. It's your money.
What's in the bag? Lunch. Quarter pounder of cheese, fries. Kick you for it. You and me for my quarter pounder. First one that misses. I know. Watches the winner eat. 50 order. Split the uprights. Barefoot. Helmet on backwards. Split the upright. Out of the cup holder. Off the scoreboard and back through. Through the tunnel, hook it, off the stone guy, split the uprights.
These guys are good.
What you want is what you get in McDonald's today.
Over the mountain, off the freeway, through the tunnel, off the scoreboard, split the uprights.
10:02 left in the third quarter. Cowboys leading 16-10. They were not offsetting penalties. The one was enforced. That was against the Cowboys for holding. The other was illegal formation, I believe, was the initial call. That was disregarded. I'm not sure. First and 10. Cowboys have the ball at their own 10. Of that, I'm sure. Aikman back at the goal line. Steps up in the pocket. Dumps it off to Emmett Smith. Chased by Romanowski.
I'll tell you one thing about these good running backs today, Waters and Emmett Smith. The tackling has been very good. I mean, both of these teams are tackling well, because usually Emmett Smith and Ricky Waters, they have a lot of yardage after the first contact, but they don't have it today. And Romanowski has made a lot of those good tackles against Emmett Smith.
Kevin Fagan back as the 49ers go back to that four-man front. And that's Darrell Johnston for the first down. Artie Smith, also part of that defensive unit now.
I'll tell you, he better watch out, old Darrell Johnston, or he's going to start to be a cult figure down here. Every time he gets the ball, they go Moose. They give him that big move. That's one of the advantage of being named like Moose or something, you know. If I ever went back to coaching again, I would have called myself Moose, because then you never know if they're booing you.
Oh, you need a Moose.
Yeah, they're just calling him Moose. Do some dumb call that boo you. Moose.
Now it's Novacek in motion. Pass is to Novacek. No, to Irvin, who broke two tackles. Michael Irvin has a first down. Michael Magruder finally made the stop.
You know, coming into this game, there was a lot of big stars, a lot of marquee names, but the guy that has been the star of the stars today is Michael Irvin. I mean, he came in here today to play football. I mean, he came in here today to, you know, say, make things happen and get out of tackles and make moves and get open. And Michael Irvin has done all those things. He'll be a little embarrassed there because he was caught from behind by Kevin Fagan, but other than that, he's had a good day.
That's 10 catches for 118 yards. That's Emmett Smith with the ball. Emmett to the 45. To the 40, beg your pardon. Dennis Brown tripped him up.
You know, Emmett Smith, of course, missed those first few games. Then he had a hamstring pull. And then he said today is the first time that he really felt well. and he's starting to make moves. You see the moves that he can make. He's reading his center there. And he saw that nose tackle. He wanted to take it up there. Then he saw he had a stalemate, and he knew that he had to take it and keep it outside.
2nd and 4. This is Harper at the bottom. Irvin goes up to the top of the picture. Smith again. That should be enough for the first. Washington made the stop.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the results now of that wear down. You know, the 49er offense not helping, you know, by not being able to keep the ball. And then, again, that time of possession, you know, by itself, it doesn't mean a lot. But when you look at all the things that happen as a result of it, it does mean a lot. I mean, these guys are getting tired. They're starting to get pushed back off the line now. The running that wasn't there earlier is starting to be there now.
Aikman for Harper. Got it. At the 20. Inside the 20. Brought down by Eric Davis.
They've been working Michael Irvin. They've been working the left side. They've been working against Magruder all day. And this time they said, let's not forget Alvin Harper. He's out there at the right side. Good pass protection. He runs right by Eric Davis for his first catch of the day.
36 yards on the game.
Yeah, this is why Emmitt Smith is a great back, because he not only runs and catches, but watch him make that block. If he doesn't block Mike Walter there, there's no completion. Emmitt Smith gets a big part of that completion.
First down. Emmitt Smith now gets the carry. Got a couple. Dennis Brown made the stop along with Stubblefield.
You know, that was one of the reasons that I've always thought if I could take one running back, it would probably be Emmitt Smith because of that. I mean, he runs as well as any of them. He catches as well as most of them. And I think of all the running back types, he's the best blocker, especially as a pass protector like that. That was a big play by Emmitt Smith.
That's a pretty good endorsement. Aikman is 3 out of 3 in this half. 2nd and long. Michael Irvin had it and dropped it. He almost caught him in the middle of a push-off when he threw the ball.
Yeah, well, they'd been working that left side where Michael Magruder was playing. Then they went to work on Eric Davis. First of all with Alvin Harper, and then they try and throw the slant on Davis there to Michael Irvin. And Irvin thinks that he should get those kind because, you know, I mean, the big, strong guy that can just kind of out-muscle that smaller cornerback.
3rd and 8. Line of scrimmage is the 49er 18. They're expecting the Dallas to throw it. Aikman had it and lost it. To Harper.
Harper saying it's a touchdown. Aikman saying it's a touchdown. Michael Magruder's right there with him. It's up there at the top of the screen. And left, they're going back to work on Magruder. A little stop and go. A perfect pass. And again, he just got it out there. Now, if you have any possession in the end zone, it's a touchdown. You have to have possession. You have to have the ball and both feet down.
That's close.
That's very, very close.
No touchdown, however, and Eddie Murray comes on. He's 3 for 3 today. This one from 35 yards out with Novacek holding. That one is no good. Murray signaled good, but more importantly, the officials didn't think so. 16 to 10, 5:07 left third quarter.
Tonight's top story, storms on the East Coast causing delays up and down the entire eastern seaboard.
No, my plane's stuck somewhere back east.
Your flight has been canceled. The 5 most hated words of every business traveler. It's an absolutely guaranteed instant headache. You're just suddenly helpless. On a day like this, I know it's not the airline's fault. That's not the point. I'm just looking for some answers. I want somebody to tell me my options.
Los Angeles at 7 p.m.
I just want somebody to tell me when I can get out of here.
We can reroute you.
what he said.
Those are the people I come back to. They try and find a way and make it happen. They give me my best option, maybe even on another airline. I appreciate that, because, you know, a little honesty goes a long way. Tell Billy to look for me at halftime. I'll be there.
You build a new razor with precision heads to shave below the skin in comfort. And what do you get? Cut a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave even closer. And what do you get? Build a razor that shaves closer, smoother than ever before. And what do you get? The new Norelco razors, our closest shave ever.
Monday on Late Show with David Letterman, Dennis Miller and Tony Bennett.
What is John Kruk really chewing?
Monday on CBS.
Back at Texas Stadium, Dallas 16, San Francisco 10, 5:07 left in the third quarter. And the 49ers will start from their own 20. Waters and Logan behind Young. Rice in motion. Waters. 2.5, 3.
Let's look at that play again. This is normal speed now. This isn't slowed down. So this is what the official sees. I don't think that he had possession. I don't think that's a touchdown. If it was anything, though, Magruder had a hold of his left arm, and it could have been pass interference in the end zone. But I think as far as complete or incomplete, that was a good call.
Good call.
Complete.
Good call. Second down. Out of bounds, 49er first down. Knocked out by Kevin Smith.
Steve Young got hurt on that play, Pat. I mean, he really took a hit after he threw that. You know, the last game they played against the Vikings, he had a concussion. I don't think that was in the head, but he took a pretty good shot there. I wonder how he even gets the ball out of there. Watch him here. He gets two guys coming up free in the middle. Norton hits him just as he throws the ball, and he still completes it to Taylor. But that's tough when you have to take on one yourself. Step in and throw the ball to that same side.
49ers 35th play coming up. That's Logan, and he is breaking tackles and off into Dallas territory. Still struggling, still inside the 30. Boy, what a run this is by Mark Logan. Finally dragged down by Kevin Smith.
I tell you, he just hits this thing straight up the middle. Watch him. He's going to get in there. McIntyre pulls. It's a little trap in the middle. Ricky Waters makes a pretty good lead block right there. Logan runs two, or just steps through two tacklers, and then just ends up another 10 yards carrying one.
A 40-yard run for Mark Logan.
He had a couple blocks, stepped out of a couple tackles, and carried a couple 10 yards.
First down at the Dallas 30. Reverse coming to Rice. That was pretty well set up. Young out in front to block. Rice inside the 15 to about the 12. Stopped by Larry Brown finally.
And I'll tell you, Steve Young made a pretty good block on that play. You know, Rice is going to come from the left here. We're going to hand to Waters, hand back to Rice. Now watch Steve Young lead. Now sometimes quarterbacks lead and they just run out of bounds. Right there, he just did enough so that Jerry Rice could cut off of that block or shield and cut back in and get another 5 or 6 yards.
Rice gave him a little push.
Oh, Jerry Rice hasn't caught a lot of passes, but again, if the 49ers offense is going to be successful, they need Rice.
First and 10, they're going to shoot for the end zone, and they have Brent Jones. Touchdown.
That was a heck of a drive. That was what Steve Young told us yesterday, that when they got down there, they got down in that red zone, they were going to attack it. They were going to attack the end zone. If you're going to do it, throw it into the end zone. But as it starts off again with good pass protection, Brent Jones, number 84, starts to the outside, gets behind Ken Norton. Perfect pass by Steve Young.
That's 6 catches for Jones today. Cofer for the extra point. And And the 49ers recapture the lead. 17-16. 2:32 left to play in the third quarter.
Can you find the Oldsmobile in this picture? We'll give you another try. Here's a hint. It's competition red, has four-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a hot V6 engine. It's the Achieva Sport Coupe. Surprised? It's your money.
Stop seeing these as forms that take up space. Store them electronically and see them as documents. One company saved $1 million. See your documents differently. Call 1-800-ASK-XEROX, the document company.
It's coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the line, Ford! Bigfoot!
2 square feet of pizza and a tasty new crust, all for $10.99. Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
This is your life. Sprint Express, may I help you?
Sprint is the only global phone company with local, long distance, and cellular. So whether you're calling around the world or around the corner, with Sprint, you can be there now. So whoever said the world doesn't revolve around you, obviously didn't have Sprint.
It's a new mystery every Friday night.
Somebody murdered my pigs.
And Dick Van Dyke is a crime-solving doctor.
You've been hiding behind that collar.
Diagnosis Murder premieres October 29th.
Let's watch the effect of motion here. When he comes in motion, he adjusts a little, he comes out a little, he comes out a little, and that lets Brent Jones get to the post. You see the motion? Norton comes out, up, the linebacker, the safety, and then that gives him a step behind Norton and gets the safety a step from getting over there.
Steve Young was 2 out of 2 on that drive. The 20-yard touchdown pass to Steve Jones. The big play, that run by Logan, 40. This is Kevin Williams. He'll stay in the end zone. Gant told him to stay there. It's 17-16, San Francisco leading Dallas.
120 years ago, when people wanted to send us a letter, all they had to do was write Coors, Golden, Colorado on the envelope. That'll still work today. So if you want to drop us a line about beer or baseball or whatever, it'll get here. Honest.
How'd you like to buy a car with some serious attitude? The Sport Coupe. It's your money.
Come on, push yourself. Put your heart into it. Be tough.
I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler.
More feeling.
I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler.
Now that I'm in the Meineke corner, if anyone says you have to pay a lot to get high-quality muffler service, you know what to tell them.
I am not going to pay a lot for this muffler.
By George, I think he's got it.
Now more than ever, at Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
If you think you've heard all there is to hear about bad cops, you haven't. So the worst of the lot sits down with Mike Wallace tonight on 60 Minutes. Then at 8 Eastern, it's Game 2 of the World Series between the Philadelphia Phillies and Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays lead the series 1-0. First pitch is at 8:29. That's all tonight here on CBS. 17-16 at Texas Stadium. 2:26 left to play in the third quarter. Dallas ball at their own 20. Novacek was the motion man. That's Emmitt Smith. left side just for a couple of yards, maybe 3. Brown and Washington combined to make the stop.
Gain of 3 on the play.
2nd and 7. Dallas from their own 23.
Second down.
Price checks in. Johnston checks out. Been busy for Emmitt Smith today, and he'll be the lone setback this time. 2nd and 7. Price on the move. And Aikman back to throw. Outside to Emmitt Smith, just about a 4-yard pass and about a 3-yard gain, stopped by Romanowski.
You know, when you have big guards and tackles, like you have Kevin Gogan and Eric Williams, just watch the size of these guys. And then here's Aikman's eyes now, and then you got these big guys in front of you, so it's hard to see. You know, you not only have to throw it to the guy, but you have to be able to find him. And you see it, there's a point where the quarterback can't see the guy. And you're looking right now, and you see these big guys in front of him. See, that's why he has to move a little to his right. When he set up, he couldn't see Emmitt Smith.
3rd down intended for Novacek, covered by Romanowski. No flags. And the Cowboys will have to punt. Jimmy Johnston and the fans
Jimmy's upset about that because they had that one that could have been interference in the end zone and that one that could have been interference. Bill Romanowski is playing a heck of a game today.
He really is. John Jett back to punt. Dexter Carter for the 49ers. Bill Bates and Dale Hellestray, who did the snapping for the punt, down to make the stop.
Can you find the Oldsmobile in this picture? We'll give you another try. Here's a hint. It's competition red, has 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a hot V6 engine. It's the Achieva Sport Coupe. Surprised? It's your money.
The year 2032. The city, Los Angeles. The movie, Demolition Man. The restaurant,
Now, all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Exactamundo. The demo D.
52 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. The 49ers lead by 1. See those luxury boxes on the far side of the field that are all painted white on the inside? There was a fire last Wednesday afternoon, and this crew here has done a remarkable job of getting them ready, as 12 of them were all but destroyed by that fire, but they're okay now. Fumble, and Dallas is signaling they got the ball. Out of there with it comes Casillas.
Russell Maryland's the guy that got the penetration. He's the guy that's doing the celebration. You need that. They had to get the momentum back. They had to get in there. They had to make something happen. Watch the penetration right up the middle. You see Maryland right there. He's the guy that knocks it out. He's the guy that did get the penetration, moved to his little right. He knocked the ball out of Logan's hands. He was coming across the backfield.
And Casillas made the recovery. So it's 1st down, Cowboys at the 49er 39.
A couple of big plays by Cowboy defensive linemen today. Earlier, we remember the one that Charles Haley got when he knocked the ball out of Steve Young. And that time, that one was all Russell Maryland.
Darrell Johnson and Emmitt Smith behind Aikman. And Johnson again gets the carry. The Moose gets down to about the 36. They are featuring him more today than they have in any game we've done. I know that.
Well, they don't, you know, with all those guys, Michael Irvin and Jay Novacek and Harper and Emmitt Smith and all that, I think the only way the Moose is going to get the ball is if no one's guarding him or if Emmitt Smith is tired.
Maybe featuring is a bad word. They're using him.
Eric Williams is starting to look like a tackle now. His shirt tail's out. Now you're a tackle in a football game. This is a football game.
Second down. Aikman back to throw, going deep. And this is a touchdown. That is Michael Irvin. Magruder was the defender. 36-yard touchdown pass from Aikman to Irvin.
Michael Irvin is having a career day. You want to know what an all-pro looks like? Watch Michael Irvin here. He not only gets behind him, but he's a physical guy. He'll battle you all the way down the field.
11 catches for 154 yards for Irvin.
That's an all-pro day. And then a salute to the fans. You ought to salute his offensive line and Troy Aikman, too. Now, Michael Irvin is so big and so strong. Watch how he works his hands here. He just gets a hand out there once, a second hand out there. Then he's looking at his eyes. He tries not to make his eyes look big when the ball's coming so the defender doesn't know when it's coming. But I'll tell you, in most battles for the football, when it's in the air, Michael Irvin will win 90% of them.
He juggled it on the way down, but his hands were quick enough to get it.
And you know the thing about him, he's wearing new shoes today, Pat. Remember we talked to him yesterday? And he was wearing those shoes there. He said he's worn turf shoes for 3 years, and he's going to try a new pair today. He wore them home last night. You'll probably never take those shoes off.
He wore them yesterday to break them in.
I know. He was breaking them in the pregame warm-up. Those are going to be his gamers from now on, probably for 3 years.
Gant is back in his act. He must have been in the band at some time.
Michael Irvin still celebrates his touchdown. Gant celebrating the oncoming kickoff coverage, and that's the way you celebrate a kickoff coverage, is you hit yourself in the head.
And get ready. Dexter Carter. The special teams are down in a hurry. Joe Fishback now to make the stop. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Dallas 23, San Francisco 17. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local 17 as we start the fourth quarter at Texas Stadium. It's been just about the kind of game we expected. A lot of offensive firepower. Hot days for Aikman and Young. Michael Irvin's had a career day, 11 catches.
I think you'd expect a little more out of Jerry Rice and a little more out of running Ricky Waters.
Here's Steve Young. Taylor gets a 49er first down. Out of bounds at the 30.
Watch Kenneth Gant, number 29. We showed before how he got fired up and was firing up the crowd and everything. Then he runs down. Fishback makes the tackle. He starts celebrating. And that's a dance. I've never seen this move, but you dance right out of your hat. Now that's making some moves. I mean, when you can have that hat and it's strapped on your head and you can make moves, it takes that hat right off your head, you're moving.
You won't see that dance at the Follies. Ricky Waters. Jerry Rice has 2 receptions, 25 yards. Of course, he had that end around that picked up some key yardage before their last touchdown. Irvin 11 for 154 in the touchdown. That's his career high, the 11 receptions.
And of course, those are the 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, 2 of the best receivers in football. I think if you had to pick one, everyone would always say it was Jerry Rice, but the way Michael Irvin is talking, it's hard not to say that right now, or right today, he's the best.
Here's Young, gets away from 1 sack, and he's off the running. Steve Young cut down at about the 44 by Darren Woodson.
I think if you had to pick any one thing, or one thing that has really been crisp in this game and puts a signature of a big game, it's been the open field tackling. You know, usually you see a lot of missed tackles, it seems like the last 4 or 5 years, but this game has been very crisp and very good open field tackling.
Between these two teams, who are two of the very best.
Right, and that's one thing, and that's one of the reasons Darren Woodson, who just made that tackle, that's one of the reasons that he's now the starting safety.
First down, San Francisco. Young back to throw. To Taylor. Taylor out of bounds at the Dallas 33. Norton knocked him out of bounds. They can move it in a hurry.
And you forget about John Taylor. You know, over the years, John Taylor used to be a punt returner, and we talk about guys catching the ball and then running after they catch. John Taylor at one time was one of the best in the game at that.
Big, strong guy. Obviously, he can catch it. And he was a great runner. He's a good runner after he catches the ball.
Well, you know, he broke his leg a year ago, and you know, you get a couple broken legs and some things, so you're not as quick and as good a runner as you used to be.
Young to Logan. Logan inside the Dallas 20 to about the 28. Stopped by Norton again.
You know, one thing I know that Steve Young is thinking there, and Mike Shanahan, of course, the offensive coordinator who calls the plays, is they know that they lost a year ago in the championship game to the Cowboys by getting down here and not attacking the end zone. The last time they were down there, they attacked it, they had the motion, they hit Brent Jones. And again, on this drive, I would expect them to attack the end zone again.
2nd and 5. They might get one more first down, or try to, before they go into that attack the end zone. Now Rice in motion. Flag on the play.
I think that's a free play, Pat, because I think it was against Charles Haley. He was the defensive end on this side. He started to creep across. I think he was in the neutral zone. You watch, it's right here. He just can't hold it. He's trying to watch the ball. He sees motion. He probably hears counts, and he starts to move a little. See him move a little, then he moves a little more, then a little more, and he couldn't get back. The first move, he was okay.
Offsides, and number 94 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Offside Haley, so it's still 2nd down.
Haley plays mostly on the right side of the Cowboy defense, but when Jim Jeffcoat comes in, he's the old right defensive end for years. He plays the right side, then Haley comes over and plays the left defensive end.
65,099 in attendance today at Texas Stadium. That's the largest crowd since the reconstruction of the stadium. They're enjoying one whale of a show.
Now to pay these players the money they have to pay, Jerry Jones has to put seats everywhere he can find an empty slot.
2nd and 1. That's Logan. Straight ahead, down to about the 11. Tripped up by Thomas Everett. Hey, this guy has done a heck of a job too.
I know, and Logan, he really slashes that one. He's going to go right to the left of the center here. Now this is what you have to do. You start and you take the good block right there. See the center just as the polo blocks back. There's the trap right there. You get the trap by Guy McIntyre, and Logan runs right off that thing. That's the other good thing that Guy McIntyre does, is trap block.
Trap Jimmy Jones. 1st and 10. That's Logan again to about the 7.
Logan inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, the old by Norton. Excuse me, John.
No, I was just saying the old trap block is where you let the guy come across like he's not blocked, and then the guard from the offside comes and kicks him out. The old quick trap, and that's what Guy McIntyre is. McIntyre's a good pulling guard, a good open field blocker, a good trap blocker.
A Pro Bowl player.
And a real competitor. I mean, a tough guy who comes out, gives you 60 minutes of competition.
2nd and 5 at the 7. 2 tight ends now. Jamie Williams and Brent Jones. Outside the Brent Jones, dragged down by Darren Smith just as soon as he caught it.
Well, they tried to get that same adjustment, Pat. They only had one back in the backfield. Then they sent him in motion. Ricky Waters, they sent him in motion to the right, then tried to throw to the left. Last time they did that, they got a touchdown, but it was a post. watch what happens. You'll see Waters is going to come in motion towards us. He's coming in motion. Now there's no one in the backfield. They try and get the adjustment to come to this side and then throw back against the motion.
Third and about 5 to go. The ball's at the 6-yard line of Dallas.
No matter how far the journey, the need to make it home is basic, instinctual, undeniable. A 1994 Toyota 4Runner. For the way there, for the way back.
At BASF, we don't make the sneakers, we make them bouncier. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the leather, we make it jazzier. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better.
Let's go 17, but the 49ers have it. 3rd and 4 to go for a first down at the Dallas 6.
I don't know, but the coaches and players are on the sideline again. They're yelling something. Or Seifert on the field. I think they had to be trying to get the officials' attention because they'd just come off a timeout, so they had their players' attention.
Steve Young is 6 out of his last 6. Waters is the lone setback, not behind Young, but over to his right. They roll that direction. That ball is deflected, intended for Rice. Somebody got a hand up.
Did someone get a hand up, or was that just a bad throw? Because usually when Steve Young runs, he runs to his left. This is going to be a little different. Watch, he's going to roll out or sprint to his right. See, he turns out there, is going to try and throw to his right and then throw back. I think that was just a bad
nobody
throw.
touched it. You're right.
I think
just took off.
I think he threw like a split-fingered fastball with that thumb that's 3 times the size of the other thumb took over. And he said sometimes some ugly things happen with that thumb.
An ugly thing happened right here as the snap on the field goal attempt was bumped, and the Cowboys will take over. The snap was high.
I think you go back to the 2nd down play, the 3rd down play. The 49ers said they were going to attack the end zone. They didn't attack the end zone, and then it backfired on them.
George Seifert's back out on the field again. And the 49ers are yelling something at the official. Ed Hockley is the referee.
The backward pass was never possessed by Dallas. San Francisco recovered it on a 4th down. Therefore, Dallas takes over on downs, 1st down.
So it really didn't make any difference who recovered it.
And we'll see the snap here was a good snap. Just goes right through his hands. I mean, there was no problem there. He just didn't catch it. You get 2 kickers back there, you're going to have something bad happen. And when it does happen, they're not going to make something good out of it.
Ralph Tam is the snapper. Klaus Wilmsmeyer, the punter, is the holder. 2 kickers, as you said.
That's right. And Wilmsmeyer just went right through his hand. Then he couldn't do anything about it after it goes through his hand.
Looks like Cofer might be hurt. Here's Aikman. Going deep for Harper. Incomplete.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, Don Griffin is back in there at the right corner. Oh, and now a late penalty comes out. Oh, that was a late one. That one came out a minute after the play was over.
They're walking back to the huddle.
Well, whatever way this goes, it was sure late. Someone talked him into that. I think you either see it and throw the flag or you don't throw the flag. But Don Griffin, who supposedly had a dislocated shoulder, went out in the 1st half, is back now at right corner.
Ed Hockley's had a busy day. Exercised his entire vocabulary.
That was a late flag, though.
That's a simple way of saying it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the San Francisco bench. 15-yard penalty, first down.
On the bench.
That's why it was a late flag, because it wasn't called. It wasn't called against either player. It was called against the sideline. That's Mark Baltz. What they said was that it was against the bench, that they were interfering with the official.
Right, right. That was the bandage on Koper's leg you saw. The ice pack on his left leg, I believe. Not the kicking leg.
I think what he was doing is telling them to get back, and they didn't get back. He called a penalty on him. He's still pointing to him to get back.
1st and 10. Dallas at their own 49. That's Emmitt Smith. They get the ball nudged into San Francisco territory.
Yeah, if you look at the play before, it's going to be right down here in the bottom left. If there is anything, it's going to be right down there. And you see the coach there, that there was a 49er or someone in a red shirt hit the official. And you see it right here, and he goes down. The official goes down. So then, see, he didn't call anything on that play.
Right.
Then he got up late and thought that it was a penalty against the 49ers because it was a guy in a red shirt.
So it's called against the sideline. Here's Aikman. Gets away from one rusher. Slides close to a first down, and a flag on the play. Aikman went feet first into the pile. George Seifert disgusted with the way things are going right now.
Well, when you go feet first, that's a give-up. And the rule for a give-up, if a quarterback goes feet first, you can't hit him. If he goes head first, you can hit him. Right now, after he does that, you can't hit him.
Fagan got him with the head.
Late hit by the defense, number 75. The quarterback slid, giving himself up. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, that's tough, though. I mean, here you're chasing the guy. You see, you don't know which way he's going. You got the full body going, and you just go right over the top of him. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to call. And it's hard to run all the way across and to stop, but that's the rule. The guy goes head first. He gives up. You can't hit him.
1st and 10 at the San Francisco 27. 2 penalties and a wild field goal attempt. I don't think you call that a drive. That's Emmitt Smith inside the 25. Right now, again, for an NFL update, back to our studios in New York.
Pat and John in Phoenix. Watch Johnny Bailey right up the middle, 14 yards and a touchdown for the Cardinals, who beat the Redskins in Week 2. They're rolling over Washington today, 29-6 in the 4th. Pat?
Here at Texas Stadium, it's 23-17. The Cowboys lead. They have the ball at the 49er 23.5-yard line.
The 49ers were moving the ball so well. I still go back to that 2nd down play where they threw that short out, and then that 3rd down play where they sprinted right and tried to throw back.
That's Emmitt Smith. He got some room this time. Smith out of bounds at about the 15. Chased down by Tim McDonald.
One thing about Emmitt Smith, he's going to hang in there, you know, and he's going to give you a full day's work. And he's going to run that thing. I mean, he's already had 22 runs, 92 yards, and it's not a spectacular day. I mean, this is an average day for Emmitt Smith, and he's probably going to gain over 100 yards just on an average day. Of course, Michael Irvin had the great day against the Cowboys.
Irvin goes split wide to the right. Harper's left, and Novacek is on the move. Emmitt Smith again. Behind the line by McDonald. Emmitt Smith says he never gets tired. I'm not sure that I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, well, he does, but he just never admits it. But watch what you have to do. Once you have trouble with the run, you got to get your 8th guy involved. The 8th guy is the safety, and that's Tim McDonald. So you got 7 on the line of scrimmage. Then they start to run. Now watch 46 come up, just like a linebacker. They don't account for him, and he's going to make the tackle.
Well, you asked George Seifert yesterday if this guy had been what you expected him to be, and he said yes, he's done everything we thought he would. Here's Aikman. Irvin is out of bounds at about the 4, enough for the first down.
I'll tell you, if Michael Irvin keeps going like this, they're going to illegalize him. I mean, he's done short ones and inside patterns and outside patterns, used his hands, not used his hands. Watch how he uses his feet here. Catch the ball, boom, 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 and then take that ball outside.
Give Aikman some credit. That ball was right there.
And how about the pass protection? Look at the time that he has. I mean, it's the whole thing. If the line doesn't do their job, then you're not going to have it. If Aikman doesn't make the throw, Irvin's not going to make the catch. So these guys have all their parts working.
First and goal from the 4. Emmett Smith trying to get around the corner. He won't. Lost yardage. Kevin Fagan in pursuit, along with Martin Harrison.
Yeah, that was good defense by Martin Harrison, too, because Emmett Smith knew they just stayed right on that inside shoulder, and he was either going to cut back and have a heck of a collision with Martin Harrison, or he was going to run out of bounds. Emmett Smith ran out of bounds.
Yeah. He said to us yesterday, you asked him, when do you run out of bounds? And he said, I can't get any more by cutting back.
I don't want to live to run the next play.
Yeah. Timeout, Dallas. 5:13 left to play. 23-17, the Cowboys lead it.
It was pouring rain. I was late. The guy from Xerox was waiting to talk about my documents. My documents, I asked. Add impact to your direct mail, he says. Just add color. You can get 25% more responses. More responses, I say? And I see it. How color gets my documents to make money. I say call my direct mail anything you want. If you're helping my cash flow, you're talking my language.
See your documents differently. Call 1-800-ASK-XEROX, the document company.
If you demand more from an aftershave than alcohol burn, you gotta try new alcohol-free Sensitive from Old Spice with cooling sensates. It's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try new Sensitive from Old Spice.
Coming over the hill, Sarge.
Hit the line, boys! Bigfoot!
2 square feet of pizza and a tasty new crust, all for $10.99. Bigfoot Pizza, the biggest pizza you can get delivered.
From the instant you begin until you're over the top, there are no words to describe it. But if you're lucky...
On 72 plays, the 49ers only 46. The score is 23-17. Dallas has its second goal, the ball at the 6. And incomplete. Harper was the intended receiver. Good coverage, Eric Davis.
They're just going to run this quick up, just a 3-step, 1, 2, 3. Boom, just throw it up over his outside shoulder. You try and get it right to that pylon, so either your guy Harper gets it or no one gets it. He left it a little inside. That should be over the outside shoulder, right at that second pylon back there.
Harper, 6'4", was a high jumper in college, so he can get up there, and that's what they were trying to take advantage of. That's Harper in motion. Here's Aikman. That's at about the 1-yard line. Novacek. I wonder if they go for it now.
Well, I would think not, because with a 23-7 lead, if they don't get it, the 49ers could beat them with a touchdown. So now, by kicking a field goal here, which they're going to do, then the 49ers need 2 scores.
Remember, again, against the Colts last week, they ran a fake field goal with Novacek just walking in for a touchdown.
I would be shocked if they would fake it here. I think they need this 3.
They do. No question about it. They got it. So with 4:21 left now, it's 26-17 Dallas.
Working to be the best they can be.
21 left to play at Texas Stadium. Dallas 26, San Francisco 17. Murray set to kick off, and Gant set to do something.
I've never seen anyone fire up a kickoff coverage like Gant before. I've never seen this in all my years in football. As this being that big a play.
It's going to be Dexter Carter. Wave gets him.
I'll tell you one thing about Gant, though, Pat. He gets fired up before, but then he flies down that field. I mean, he flies down that field like a wild man.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he goes through all this, but some guys don't run down there as quickly as others. I mean, he's going down there with a full head of speed.
I'll tell you what. The only thing he's missing is the landing gears.
But, you know, he brings all the other guys with him, too. You know, it's not like he goes there. I mean, all the other guys. I think that whole thing is infectious. And I think a big part of it is Jimmy Johnson, because he really believes in the kicking game.
Young back to throw it from the 20. Pass is complete to Rice. That's his first pass that he's caught since the second quarter.
Yeah, and you have to give credit, I think, to Larry Brown and Kevin Smith, to the corners of the Cowboys. I mean, here it's Larry Brown out here. Rice is on the left side. He gives him a little cushion. But when Rice catches the ball, he's right there, makes the tackle, discourages him from thinking that he's going to be a big play.
2nd and 5. Young steps it up. Caught by Rice. As he rolled out of bounds. First down, San Francisco, and stops the clock.
Yeah, and Jerry Rice, you just get the feeling he's thinking, look, we could have done this all day. You know, put me out there in the left, put me out there on Larry Brown, and just throw me the ball. And that's why that field goal really helped the Cowboys, because it made a different game out of here. Now the 49ers can't go down and win with a touchdown.
They got to have 2 scores.
Yeah, they have to get one now and then think in terms of another one. So they got to get this first one quickly.
1st and 10. They have 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining. Young gets it out to Logan. He's out of bounds in Dallas territory, knocked out by Kevin Smith, but it's a first down, San Francisco.
I think the 49ers can move the ball. They're going now with no huddle. Again, I think the thing that's going to haunt them is when they got inside that 20, that 2nd and 3rd down play, and then, of course, the 4th down play being the field goal. They just kind of came unraveled the last time they got down there.
1st and 10, San Francisco at the Dallas 48. 3.5 minutes left to play. The handoff is to Logan. Norton was there in a hurry, along with Darren Smith.
Mark Logan, written down by number 59 Darren Smith and number 51 Ken Norton.
49ers up in a hurry. Young doesn't see, and behind him is Charles Haley. Young never saw it.
And Charles Haley keeps fighting and fighting and fighting. He lined up on the left side. He was going against Harris Barton. He got around Barton. He just kept going and going and going until he finally got to Steve Young. Watch him down here in the bottom. 94. See, he hits with the left, does a rip with the right, goes beyond him, but then he keeps coming back. A lot of ends will go beyond and then stay out there. Haley goes beyond, and then whap, he comes back and makes a play.
So Haley gets a sack.
And that's his 2nd big play. Remember the first one when he got the sack and the fumble on Steve Young. Charles Haley makes things happen. He raises havoc.
This is a San Francisco timeout. So they will have only 1 left with 3:05 left to play. 26-17. Those of you who watched Phoenix overwhelm the Redskins 36-6. We're at Texas Stadium, where it's been a tough fought battle. The Cowboys leading 26-17. Michael Irvin has been the hero of the day for the Cowboys. This is Young, pulls it down, going to take off with it. Chased from behind by Jeffcoat. And Jeffcoat gets Steve Young down.
Hey, that's the second play by a Cowboy defensive lineman just hustling. 2 plays ago, Haley did it. This time, Jeffcoat did it. Just stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and you finally get it.
And it's 4th down. And about 7. And Young back to throw. Ducks away and is taken down, this time by Jimmy Jones. And that should do it. Young slow getting up. Again, he didn't see the man coming from behind.
3 big defensive line plays in a row. The first one, Haley. The second one, Jim Jeffcoat. And the third one, Jimmy Jones.
There's the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones.
Yeah, the 49ers battled them. The 49ers had them going.
Steve Young.
Steve Young's thinking
disgusted.
Yeah, when he needed the protection, he didn't get it. But I still think it all started on that last drive. That's when it was.
Well, you know, in every case almost, the protection wasn't that bad. The rushers came from behind Steve Young.
Just stayed with it.
Here's Emmett Smith, the flag on the play. Smith, clock continues to run. John Johnson brought him down.
And that's going to be holding against the Cowboys. And that referee throws it back behind the line after the play is about 20 yards away from him. You know it's going to be holding on the offense.
Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Coordinating producer of the NFL today is Eric Mann.
Holding on the offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
NFL today directed by Larry Cavallina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Doran. The executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile. 2:23 left.
I think you look at that huddle and that offensive line, they did a heck of a job for the Cowboys because they were the guys, like we talked about earlier, that made the block, that let Troy Aikman throw the ball so that Michael Irvin could make the catches.
That was Novacek on the move, and the handoff again to Emmett Smith. Emmett gets the couple. Stopped by Ted Washington.
Timeout, San Francisco.
Timeout, San Francisco. That'll be their last one. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Dallas Cowboys, and the National Football League is prohibited. 26-17 with 2:15 left. The Cowboys, led by Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, lead the game 26-17.
You know, you look at Troy Aikman now, and when you think after watching him that if you had to say who's the best quarterback in football right now, that it would have to be Troy Aikman?
I think based on the last stretch of games, not just this one, but he certainly has to be the best right now.
When a quarterback gets in sync or he gets a feeling or whatever he gets, Troy Aikman has.
Good size, good toughness, good command of what he wants to do and what North Turner, the offensive coordinator, wants done. He sees a lot and does a lot.
Yeah, and then reading, you know, and being able to see it and read it and then do something about it.
Emmett Smith again. Stopped by McDonald. 2:09. And now we'll probably get the 2-minute warning before we get another play underway. 2 minutes left at Texas Stadium.
This is a line. To some, it is seen as a barrier.
As soon as this game is over. We have 2 minutes left at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys have it. 3rd down and about 18 to go. So the 49ers will have another offensive chance. The handoff to Emmitt Smith, and he is nailed by Dennis Brown. Here's the Cowboys' schedule the next 5 weeks. A bye next week. Then the Philadelphia game at Philadelphia. That's been changed, by the way, to a late game, a 4 o'clock start. Then here against the Giants, and then Phoenix the next week, and then at Atlanta. And that might not be as simple as it once looked like it might be.
Especially the Giants. I mean, you think of the surprise teams in football, and I think that the New York Giants and Dan Reeves and Phil Simms and what they've done has to be one of the biggest surprises, at least to me.
And to me. A minute and 16 seconds stop left on the clock, and it's stopped right now. Next 5 weeks for San Francisco. Phoenix, then the Rams, then another bye. They just had a bye last week. At Tampa Bay, and then New Orleans. New Orleans lost today. Lost badly.
Yeah, you know, and that Phoenix thing doesn't look as easy as it did earlier because they beat the Redskins today. But I think that George Seifert knows that he has a good team. And maybe they're just not the best team, but they're still a playoff team. They're still one of the top teams in the National Football League. And this is going to be a tough defeat for them because they came very close to winning this game.
Remember that Phoenix beat San Francisco last year. One of the few teams that did. John Jett back to punt to Dexter Carter.
The only good thing that happened to the 49ers today is that the Saints lost, so they didn't lose another position in their division.
Good kick by Jett. Signals fair catch does Dexter Carter. Back at the 11-yard line. Flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. Elvis Patterson was down right in Carter's face, holding against Dallas. A minute 9 left. 26-17. Joe Avisano, who coaches the Dallas special teams, he said to me before the game, who else would make a trade like we just made? Trade
holding
for special team
kicking
players.
Team number 58. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
And you know, and picking up an Elvis Patterson,
right,
who is a Pro Bowl special team guy, a Pro Bowl cover guy. And Joe Avisano does a great job of coaching this group. And I think Jimmy Johnson lets him coach. You know, I mean, lets him, you know, puts a priority on it. Like you say, who else would go out and trade for a guy just to cover kicks? Because that's an important part of it. And as we talk about what the Cowboys did today offensively and defensively, they also excel in coverage teams.
Jett will punt again. 49ers are coming after it. Very nearly got there. No penalty this time. Fair catch signal at about the 21 by Dexter Carter.
Elvis Patterson has learned already, Pat. He's given salutes, and we were talking about making a trade for Elvis Patterson. What? First guy down. He knows it's a fair catch, but if that guy's going to drop that ball, Elvis is going to be right there to get him.
Well, he said his nickname before had been Toast when he was a defensive back because they said he'd been burned so many times. Now he says, I want to be known as the Ghost, so nobody will know where I am.
Yeah, and even when he was Toast, he used to say, it's not toast because I've been burned, it's toast because I'm the toast of the town.
Optimistic. Rice is the intended receiver, and he is nailed by Washington. Jerry Rice by James Washington. He changed directions in a hurry, and a flag on the play.
If you look at the dangerous things in football, I think...
Personal foul on the defense, number 37. Elbow to the head. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
I think that's one of the most dangerous right now. You know, that inside of the field at about 10 or 15 yards. Right there where Jerry Rice is right now. I think of the dangerous things, I think those are the things that happen. Now, they said he went to the head.
I don't think so.
No. And you can, if you start at the shoulders, it's okay to go to the head. You can't start at the head. I think he hit him in the shoulders, and then the hand just went up.
First down, San Francisco. The pass to Rice, who's hit again. But makes the catch.
But I think with the fines and everything that's happening in there, I think the officials are getting kind of overly cautious on that thing. Or maybe you can't get overly cautious on it. Maybe that's what they have to do to protect players, which I think is the most important thing they can do out there in the field.
Young stopped the clock with 31 seconds left. Let's go back and look at that hit by Washington again.
Again, now you can't hit him in the head first, but if you hit him in the shoulders first, then you come up to the head. That's okay. I think the initial contact was in the shoulders, and I would say that was okay. I mean, football's a tough game. This is a violent game, and there's going to be violent hits. And I think that was probably just a tough hit.
Well, if they're not hits, not necessarily like that, but nothing wrong with that one, you won't see nearly as many people in the stands. It's to Rice again. He's tripped up.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure what everyone is thinking now is, you know, why did they wait until they got 2 scores behind to get Jerry Rice involved in the game? 49er fans are probably thinking that. Jerry Rice is probably thinking that. He'd only caught 2 passes up until they got behind by 2 scores. And then he was in a position where it was going to be not enough too late.
Steve Young stopped the clock by grounding the ball. Brock Marion checks out. Russell Maryland checks in. 4th and 1. Young outside the logo. First down for San Francisco. But the clock continues to run. And Young's going to have to stop it in a hurry if he gets off another play. He'll get off one more.
Well, if you had some rule where you could get like 9 points for a play, that'd be the one you'd want to call here.
Well, remember, the kicker, Cofer, was hurt back on that field goal that went awry with the 49ers. I don't know if he'd be able if they needed a field goal.
Well, like I said, they got 2 seconds and they need a 9-pointer.
I don't think that's in the book. Here's Young, chased by Jeffcoat. Steve Young scrambles down inside the 10, but the clock runs out. And Dallas, a hard-fought victory over San Francisco, 26-17.
Laura Glenn is being dragged down by a tough cold, but she's about to break free with an effervescent rush of relief. Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Pills take time to dissolve, but Alka-Seltzer Plus is ready the moment.
So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Texas Stadium, where the final score was Dallas 26, San Francisco 17. 60 minutes is next, except on the West Coast and in the Mountain Time Zone. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.